Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing our Arthurian Legend set review. We're continuing with the elites and uniques. I would recommend starting with the other video, probably. Ordinaries and exceptionals are the most important cards to the limited format, but if you want the more spicy elites and uniques, that's what this video is for. I'm going to run through the grading scale. We have an A through F grading scale. A's are bombs. You're going to see probably a bunch of them in this set review. B's pull you into an element. They make you want to draft that element, either like pack one, pick one, or in the first few picks of the draft, they might pull you into a certain element. And then C's are the pawns of your deck. They are more interchangeable. You're not happy to play them. You're not really unhappy to play them, but you're going to play a bunch of them. And then D's, you're pretty unhappy if you end up putting them in your deck. And then there's F's, which are just totally unplayable cards that will basically never make the cut. And then we have the build around grade. So build arounds, it's like a subgrade. So we'll give like one grade for a card, and then we'll give a build around grade, which is like if you have these combos that go with it, maybe it gets bumped up a little bit. So I think we'll see more of those in this review than we have in the other review. Hopefully, we're not docking Earth cards because Earth is the worst element. We're kind of assuming that you're already in the element, but if we rate an Earth card really high, you might just want to bump it down a little bit for like the first few picks of the draft because you don't want to end up in Earth generally, but it's a fine place to be if you end up first picking like an A+ level Earth card. You might just want to draft Earth in those situations. Any notes before we get started, Nick?
Hi, Mitch. Thanks for having me again. I had so much fun doing the ordinary and exceptional, so really looking forward to complete the whole set. I think Earths, it really depends actually on the elites and the uniques that you get, because Earth is not bad, not at all. So it really depends. If you open a bomb in Earth and you can build around it, you will have a very strong card pool. So actually for Earth, this review will be even more important to drive to yourself in a certain direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. All right, we're going to kick it off with Earth. So we're going to start with Valor. This is 0 mana, 2 Earth threshold for Valor. It is an elite magic, and it says, maybe cast when an ally defends a site or another unit. The ally gains +4 power this turn. So you can't use it like when they attack your unit. You have to use it on one of your units that are using the defend ability, and that gives +4 power. And this is the only like instant speed spell in Arthurian Legends. The other one in Sorcery is Dodge Roll, but I think they're both bad. This one is definitely better than Dodge Roll, but you know, I think early on it looks like it's like a 0 mana removal spell, but realistically, you're just not going to be able to use it when you really want to, and it's not good when you're ahead, all those kinds of things. So I give it a D. I don't think I've really ever played this. I've played against it, and it has been just like a 0 mana removal spell, so it's kind of a hard one to grade, honestly. What are your experiences with it?
Yeah, so first I thought it was amazing. As you say, surprise, kill, etc. But that is not the case, and it's because of the wording on the cards. It says when an ally defends. And the big difference that I didn't understood in the beginning is like if you attack a minion, that is not an ally defending. So if you attack an ally, a minion of your opponent, he has actually to defend with another minion to then be able to cast Valor on this. So that is a lot actually. So it's different if you just attack the side and then you can Valor and block, kill, fine. But it doesn't protect your minions for free. There is also the aspect that you also have to have the double threshold, so you cannot splash it also. So yeah, I mean, it can work. I gave it a C. It's okay, the card, but I had it, for instance, there's also a lot of lookouts. Everybody plays with them, and if they see it in your hand, you can forget it that the card has any value. So yeah, C minus to D, I can understand. I think it's still okay to play, but it really can be a lost card in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then we go to the next one, which is Pendragon Legacy. It is a 1 mana, 2 Earth threshold unique magic, which says shuffle any number of unique cards from your cemetery into your deck and draw a card. So if we're talking limited the effect of the card is just not there. There is not a high chance that you have many unique cards in your cemetery. So basically, this is a 1-mana cantrip. And I'm all for cantrips. It thins out your deck, but here you have the 2 Earth thresholds that can backfire if you don't have it. So I would just say this is unplayable. I just give it a if you're really into Earth, I don't mind playing it, but I give it between a D and a C, somewhere there. I don't think I would ever take a place in my deck to try to thin my deck with this.
Yeah, I think I have it as C. I don't know. Like I'm not going to take it higher than like any minion that I want to put in my deck basically, but it is, yeah, it does just thin your deck. Like in Magic, like 1 mana draw card is horrible because you can just draw a site or you can draw a land in Magic, but in Sorcery it is just like 1 mana, like draw a different spell. I don't know. It's kind of like you have a 23 card spell book. I don't know. I don't hate it, but I'm not going to take it very high.
But there is a small chance that you are, like, if you don't have your 2 Earth thresholds, it really, like, there is this tiny bit of risk to it, which I think it balances the card. But anyway,
okay, maybe it's a C minus then. I'll give you that. Tithe is next. It's 1 mana, triple Earth threshold for a unique magic, and it says draw 3 sites. You have to be super heavy Earth to play this, and the payoff really isn't there. Like you're gonna probably have like 6 sites in play before you can even cast this, and yeah. So I give it a D minus. I'm basically just never playing this card.
Yeah, it's the same. Like this card is amazing. Like in constructed, Tide is super strong, but in limited, it's just never happening. And as you say, like if you get your third threshold, you have probably 6 mana, and like the only thing your spell slinger does well is to draw sites.
Yeah.
So by then it's just not there anywhere. So I agree. I gave it a D. Next one is our Lady Isolde, 2 mana, also 2 Earth threshold for a 1 power unique mortal. If another nearby allied minion would die, return it to hand. So basically, I gave it a B to a B plus range. So for me, it's like a miracle worker. You have to keep this in hand. You have to play this to gain immediate value. And then if your opponent cannot kill it, then you really have a big edge. But she is 1 power. There are many ways to kill 1-powered minions. So if it sticks, so it's more like a late game control element. Like I've dealt with people that have like 2 minions and then it's cast on the back row, and then it can be annoying. But honestly, I never lost to the Lady Isolde doing her thing. So I give it, yeah. I mean, the effect is there, B plus.
Yeah, I give it a B plus because yeah, it is such massive upside if you can actually make it work. But you just have to play it and get a 1-for-1 with it. Basically, just get your minion back in hand immediately, and then like maybe it survives and gets a 2-for-1. But yeah, it really isn't as good as it looks in limited.
No,
unfortunately. 3 mana, 2 Earth threshold for Overbearing Bailiff. It is a 0 power minion. It is an elite mortal, and it has +7 power while in your back row, and no royalty is nearby. So I don't know what royalty really means, but I'm assuming it's like knights, king, queen, princess, stuff like that. So I have this as an F. I don't know, like just having a 0 power minion anywhere other than the back row, and then sometimes there's just randomly a royalty there and it's just a 0 power minion. Like how horrible is that? So yeah, you can combo it with like Postern Gate, I guess, but I'm not playing Postern Gate either. So yeah, it's like a build around D or something if you have Postern Gate, but yeah, just don't play this card basically.
No, I think this is really an F minus.
Yeah.
And the N or royalty is nearby. It doesn't really change anything. The card is so bad. It's so funny. Okay, then we come to Whitehorde, a 3 mana, 2 Earth threshold, 2 powered minion, a unique beast. Other minions and locations nearby can't be attacked. I'm not a constructed players. So I really think this is for me the most difficult one to grade, because it's like your nine, your nearby sites are protected, which can be a super upside if they cannot remove it. And there is what makes it difficult, because can you really depend on your white heart? Will you be able to say, okay, I can place it like this, and then my minions are protected, I can charge in if I want to, etc. So I just gave it a C. I think I would play with it, but it's really, really a very difficult card to play. I think you need to be very aware and very safe, and it can really backfire, I think. And also, it's only a two-part minion, so the impact is not there. Even if you really have to get your added value because of the whole positioning and thing, and it's so, yeah, dangerous, I would say. So I think it could be very strong, but I would just be too scared to play it, honestly.
Yeah, I have it at C minus, and yeah, all the things that you said. It's so weird. Like it's both sides. So like it can't even attack minions, right? It can't attack minions or locations, and none of your stuff can if it's nearby them. Like I don't know. It's so funky.
Yeah, you could place it like your minions, the run row above, they are protected and they can charge upwards and then they can deal damage, etc. But still, it's just perhaps with treetop hideout, like if you could give it stealth, perhaps. But it's so much effort to. I would just not do it.
Yeah, it's like a weird aura kind of.
Yeah.
Anyway, neither of us are high on it.
Nope.
Is Wopeltinger mine? Wow, Earth just has a lot of bangers, doesn't it?
Yep.
All right, Wopeltinger is 4 mana, 2 Earth threshold for a 0 power minion. It's an elite beast, and it has +1 power for each of your dead beasts. So if you have a bunch of dead minions in your cemetery that are also beasts, it can be a little bit bigger. But like, this has to have at least 4 beasts in your cemetery for it to be a brown bears. Like, and sometimes it's just a 0 power, 1 power minion. Like, yeah, this is basically an F. Maybe it's like a build around D or something. But yeah,
Not unlimited.
I don't understand. Okay,
No.
let's just move on.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, with the whole intro about Earth and Unix elites, there's so many bad ones as well. I think there are some very strong ones when we are going to look at the multicolored ones that have Earth.
That's so true.
But so far, basically they just suck. Okay, then we come to perhaps a playable, the Grand Old Bear, which is a 5 mana, 5-part minion for 3 Earth thresholds. An elite beast has charge if there are dead squeakers. So the Grand Old Bear is a mini game on its own. Just a 5/5. It's an Amazon warrior, but it has 3 thresholds. So just playing the 5/5, if you're really heavy committed in Earth, then it's fine. Then you have a good minion. But the chance that you really are that heavy in Earth, I mean, it can happen. So then it is playable if you can have not the squeakers but the pigs that can summon it, and then it gets charged. Then you really have like the swing that can really win you the game. So it's more like a build around. I think you really have to have the pigs, and pigs are good. 3 mana for 3 power. That's good. Having the chance to draw it, and I know somebody who actually won a tournament because of the Grand Old Bear, and he had 2 pigs. So I gave it a B. And a build around B plus, because if you even have 2 pigs, it's not even that certain that you have it. So
yeah, I also gave it a B. I gave it a build around A minus, but yeah, it kind of depends on how much you've built around it. And I think I would say, like, if you have no Pigs of the Sounder, I still wouldn't play as Squeakers, I don't think. If I had like 1 or 2 Pigs of the Sounder, I might play 1 Squeakers, but yeah, Squeakers is just horrible. Like, it's not good enough to play.
No.
Okay, next is Spear Marshal. Spear Marshal is 5 mana, 2 Earth threshold for a 3 power minion. It's an elite mortal. and it has once on your turn, Spear Marshal may acquire a lance token. So this one is kind of interesting after the rule change because this guy has the added benefit of like he's one of the only minions that can like attack and then get a lance on defense. So that's pretty cool. And then also like most of the time when you're with the new rule change, so I've done a couple drafts since the rule change and I haven't seen like that big of a change. But one thing is like the lance break, they do break a little bit faster. So you can't just like normally you're never going to be on your opponent's site anymore with a lance, but this guy makes that possible. So you can attack all your stuff in and then he can just like populate a lance every turn. I gave this guy stealth once and that was really nasty. Yeah, he can do a lot of really awesome stuff. I just gave him a B+ just on rate. Like he's pretty amazing. If he sticks around, he's totally busted. What do you give him?
Yeah, I have him at A-. I think Spear Marshal is amazing, actually. Every time I play it has its benefits. He always starts as a 5 mana 4-part first strike minion, and he doesn't lose that first strike ability. And I often play him, give the lance to something else like you would do with the Squires. And the fact that it just comes back is very strong. I mean, Spear Marshal is really something you have to deal with, and you have to deal with it quickly. Because it's just it's always a 4 powered first striker, and if it doesn't have to do it, it becomes even a 5 power first striker. So yeah, I think Spear Marshal is really, really good. Okay, so we have our very first good Earth cards.
Yeah.
Then we come to Vivian the Enchantress, 5 mana 3 Earth threshold for a 1-part minion. Vivian has the printed abilities of all avatars and spellcasters in the realm wherever she is. Yeah, I just give this a... It could be even an F. I have a D here. I would never play this. It's super expensive. It's hard to cast. In Constructed, that is a different tale, of course, but in Limited, that's never happening. It will just draw you more sites. No.
Yeah, capping Spellslinger is pretty horrible. And we don't really play with the other avatars, honestly. If you're playing with one P.E.K.K.A. beta, like there's some more interesting ones, but then like it's a 1 power minion. It's just gonna get killed. It's 5 mana triple Earth threshold. It's really tough. I did look up just out of curiosity what are like the good spellcasters that you can copy, and like you could copy like Morgana Le Fay or the Fairy Queen or Merlin. I think Merlin's kind of bad in Limited, or like Lady of the Lake. I don't know, but they're like all uniques are the good ones to actually copy. So yeah, which yeah, I don't know, maybe. But yeah, I gave it an F. I'm basically never playing it. I have a build around D, I guess, if you have like some busted unique that you can copy with this. Like, yeah. Okay, next is Guards. It is 6 mana, 2 Earth threshold for an elite magic. It has you summon a foot soldier token to each site near your avatar. So if there's sites all over in the regular path, you can like take a step forward and cast Guards, and you summon 9 foot soldiers. So that's the most they can get out of that. I think it's a little bit too expensive, and I don't think it's good enough when you're behind, is my experience with it. But I have seen it overperform, I think, a few times. So it's kind of a hard one for me to rate, honestly. I have it at B-. What do you think about it?
Yeah, this is one of my all-time favorites, cards. I'm completely in love with the cards. I give it an A, a solid A, and I will always first pick it if I can. I even would think of switching elements for it. Just because of the very fast pace that Arthurian Legends in, and it's not easy to come back from being behind. Like if you're ahead, so the good thing about cards is it's only 6 mana, and it has the potential to actually cast. It's not that difficult to cast for 8 power or 9 power of minions on the board. Yes, they are tokens, but they are all interconnected, and so if you're behind, it will stall the game for so long that you can really get back into it. Or it actually is so much damage. Also, if your opponent has a 4-power minion and a 3-power minion, you can just take 2-3 turns to block that 3-power minion, and you can actually kill that 4-power minion. It is that strong. So yeah, I played it regularly if I can. Yeah, solid A for me. Then we come to 6 mana, 6-power minion, Rita, Gar of Snowdonia. Also for 3 Earth threshold, and it says other minions can't untap. It's of course a unique giant. Rita is busted in my opinion. Just a 6 mana for 6 powers is always great, and the difficulty is here the threshold, of course, but the fact that other minions cannot untap is just insane. It can literally lock down the whole board, and even if it doesn't lock down, your opponent cannot do anything, because if they tap their minions to do one-time damage, basically that's it. So, and Rita is not easy to kill. How would you kill her? So yeah, and Rita, he untaps, and he will just start killing all the other minions, or just yeah, dealing 6 damage. I think Rita for me is just an A+. This is a real bomb.
Yeah, I have it at A+ as well. I think this is just one of the best cards in the entire set. Like, it's basically impossible for it to die in minion combat. Like, you have to have like hard removal for it. Like, basically none of the removal even kills it in the set. Like, you have to have like a Great Famine or something. Like, yeah, this card's just completely unstoppable. It's so annoying to play against. Yeah, A+, easy.
Yeah, the only thing is perhaps it comes in late into the game, so perhaps you are not always guaranteed to win, but like the effect is insane.
Yeah. Okay, moving to fire. Castles Ablaze. 3 mana, 2 fire threshold for an elite aura. Conjure atop a unique or elite site. At the start of your turn, destroy this site and minions atop it and Castles Ablaze. So it's just Hamlets Ablaze, except it only goes on elites and unique sites, which there's not very many of. So this is straight up an F. Yeah.
Nope. Never ever. Then we come to Morgana Le Fay, 3 mana for a 3-part minion for 3 fire threshold, a unique mortal, which is a spellcaster and stealth, and the Genesis effect is Morgana draws her own hand of 3 spells, which only she can cast. Let's not sugarcoat this one. This is an A+. It just lets you draw 3 cards, spells. If your opponent doesn't kill it, you have so much advantage. Yes, it was nerfed now. Like the moment that you could now cast a spell, it loses the stealth. But even then, that means that Morgana survived a turn and you are able to cast probably 1 or 2 spells, and it has its effect. It is a 3 for 3. Yes, I always play this very safely, so I tuck it away sometimes. So sometimes it takes a bit of time for her to then get into battle, but you can also just play it more aggressively. So yeah, Morgana is just straight A+ still.
Yeah, this card is absurd. I also have it at A+. It's a 4 for 1 for 3 mana. So
Yeah.
I'll just win the game. Yep. Okay. Vengeful Heir. 3 mana, 2 fire threshold for a 1 power minion. It's an elite mortal. As an additional cost to cast this, you may banish a dead knight, sir, or dame. If you do, Vengeful Heir is summoned as a copy of that minion. So you just can't really play this without knights, sirs, or dames. It's just 3 mana for 1 power, so don't do that. So it's an F, I think, to start. But then I have it as like C-, and the C- build around is if you have like 3+ unique sirs or something in your deck. Like, it's so hard to build around this. And one thing, like, you can actually banish from your opponent's cemetery, but you should not count on that. So if you have like 3+ sirs, maybe I would play this, but it still wouldn't even make the cut half the time.
Yeah, but even if you have all these amazing cards in your deck and you draw this in turn 1 to it, yeah, no. Okay, anyway. Next one is Boudica. 4 mana for a 3-powered unique mortal for 3 fire threshold. And it says other allies have +3 power while successfully attacking sites. This is also a difficult one to grade because, of course, the effect is bonkers. But if you just are playing Arthurian Legends, there is no such thing as border militia or creating tons of tokens, etc. Of course, being able to give other minions +3 power makes it a more late game card. You're not going to cast Boudica on turn 4 unless you already have 2 minions on the board. So just looking at the stats, 4 mana for 3 power is not enough. So Boudica, I mean, it's okay. It will just hit for 3, but then 3 power minions are just better for 3 mana. So yeah, it's difficult. So I still gave it a B+ to A-, but you really have to be very committed to fire. Yeah, in constructed it's definitely an A+, but in limited it's way more tricky, I would say.
Yeah, I gave it an A-. Yeah, everything you just said. I mean, you might be able to just completely blow out your opponent and surprise them for like 20 damage or something crazy, but it's not good on defense. I don't know. It's like literally only good when you're ready to attack their sites, which isn't really until pretty late in the game.
But the thing is, like, Boudica is good when you have 2 other minions or 3 other minions that are attacking. But then the question is, if that is the case, if that is the board state, do you still need Boudica? Because if I have 3 minions, even if they're 2-part minions, I'm dealing 6 damage, which means I'm already so far ahead. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe B or something is actually better for this card. Okay, next is Brother Knight, 4 mana, 2 fire threshold. He's a 3 attack power, 2 defense power minion. He's an elite mortal, and he has Genesis. You may search your spellbook or hand for another Brother Knight and summon it here. Shuffle if needed. So if you just have one of these in your deck, then it's just 4 mana for a 3/2, and I give that like a D+. But if somehow you manage to draft 2 of these, then it's a pretty amazing card. So I give it a B+ if you can build around it. And somehow I've seen 2 of these in decks like a bunch of times. Like this actually does come up. So I think just like the base level stat line is so bad that like they do get passed pretty late. And I've seen like 2 of these opened in the same pack. And like them getting passed around, and you just like see the second one and you're like, oh my god. I should have taken that first one, and then of course 2 different people end up with them or something. But can you imagine having 3 of these in your deck?
Yeah, that would be so crazy. Because that actually works.
Yeah.
Now, I must say I was able to get that mission done, and I had once 2 of those, and having 2 of those in 24 cards is just unfair. They really pop up all the time. So yeah, Brother Knight for me AD, but I think if I open it, unless there's really not a good card, I'm picking it. Just like if you have it, and as you say, people would pass it, then if you have 2 of those in your deck, you're solid. Okay, next one is the Monstrous Lion. 4 mana for a 4-part elite beast, 2 fire threshold with charge, but it cannot attack sites. Monstrous Lion is an A. It is a very good card. Just having 4 mana, 4 power charge is so good. You want to kill 3-part minions with it. You want even to trade with bears or whatever obnoxious thing. It comes as a price. It's hardcore removal, and the cannot attack sites is not that big of a downside. I mean, it can still attack the avatar, and the avatar is always nearby for some reason. He is not that far away if you really want to get your damage in. So Monstrous Lion is amazing.
Yep, I give it an A as well. Next we have, always have to scroll past all the sirs. Great Famine. 4 mana, 2 fire threshold for a unique aura. At the end of your turn, the strongest minion occupying affected sites dies. If tied, choose one. Dispel if none die. So you get to pretty much choose whatever you want to kill with this. This one's slightly better than what's the other one? Black Plague, because it kills the strongest minion. Sometimes in constructed, people will like feed their own minions into it to keep them alive, or to keep this aura in play, but I don't think you're going to do that too much in limited. Yeah, it's basically just 4 mana, kill anything, and then this sticks around. Sometimes it'll kill a second thing, but at a minimum, it'll like make it kind of awkward to play their minions where they want to play them and stuff like that. So this is really quite good once you've played with it a couple of times. Like, it's pretty busted. I don't know if I've ever actually played with it in limited, but I give it a B.
Yeah, I give it higher. I give it even an A to an A minus because it's not just a removal card. I mean, it's not limited, so it removes anything anywhere on the boards. And the thing is, it doesn't go away. So it is also some kind of area control. Your opponent really has to think about, like, yeah, you cannot enter it because perhaps you will cause something there and perhaps it will stay. So they have to flee somewhere awkwardly. The Great Famine is just better than it looks. Just play with it. And it's true, in limited, often it will just be a 1-for-1. But yeah, I think it's very, very good. Okay, then we come to Blunderbore, a 5 mana, 5-part minion, 2 fire threshold. It's a unique giant, and it says allied giants banish the minion they kill to permanently gain 1 power. So if you talk about giants, there are not that many giants if they are not unique. So we just have the lumbering giant basically, which is very common. So that is the only one I think of. I think Blunderbore is a 5 mana, 5-part minion. Basically, that's it. So I just give it a B. It's like more difficult to cast Amazon Warrior, and Amazon Warrior is great. So I will always play with Blunderbore, but it's just a beefy minion.
Yeah, I give it a B plus. Siege Giant is the other giant that you're going to see a lot. That's also in fire. Yeah, I have actually gotten triggers with this, and it feels so amazing to actually get this thing bigger. But most of the time, I just see it played and traded off, and you never actually get a trigger with it. Next, we have Peasant's Revolt. 5 mana, 3 fire threshold for unique magic. Destroy everything unique or elite in the realm. That's an F.
Yeah, I agree. It's you cannot. I mean, no, it's too uncertain to be in your deck. Okay, then we go to Rebex, which is a 5 mana, 4-part giant. That's the other one. Also 2 fire threshold, which has nearby allied giants have charge. So for me, the same, like the side effect of giving charge. It's like you cannot rely on this unless you really have like 4 other giants in your deck. Perhaps. So I would always go for the 5-for-5. I think Blunderbore is better than Rebex. So yeah, I think I will just or is it does it give charge to itself?
Yeah, it has charge itself.
Of course. Yeah, okay. That I forgot for some reason for a moment, so that makes it yeah. That changes everything actually. So there I give it a B plus, I think, or even a minus.
Okay. Yeah, I give this a B plus. But yeah, all the things you said about the other giants, there's not very many of them, but sometimes it'll come up and be important. It is upside. All right, Invasion is next. It's 6 mana, 2 fire threshold for an elite aura. At the end of your turn, summon a foot soldier token to each affected enemy site with no units. Lasts for 3 turns. 3 of your turns. Yeah, this is just pretty low impact. It's 6 mana, which is already a lot for this format specifically. And all like the most you can get out of this the turn that you played is 4 foot soldiers, which is pretty bad. And then you have to like move your foot soldiers off of the sites to even get more foot soldiers there, and they can just easily just cast their minions onto wherever this is, and it's just gonna get like 4 or 5 foot soldiers for 6 mana over 3 turns. Like it's so slow. I give this a D plus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. In the beginning, I was like, what? 12 free tokens? That is crazy, but that never happens. And it actually starts with, like, you want to cast this on a grid of 4 of your opponent's sides, and that already takes a lot of time. And actually, it doesn't happen that often. And if it happens, the avatar is one of them. So it only has 3 available slots. And yeah, I agree. This gives you 4 to 5 tokens. And if they would all be there at the same time, then it would have a bigger effect, like guards. But here, no, it's just bad. Don't play it. Next one, Year of the Blaze, 7 mana for a 4 fire threshold card, a unique aura. At the start of your turn, destroy affected sites and everything here, including Year of the Blaze. So if you just talk about the effect is amazing. It bonkers. Basically, it will destroy 4 of your opponent's sites. If you're a bit lucky, you will take a minion with it. But it's more like if you are able to remove 4 mana of your opponent, you will have a big advantage, always actually. The only difficulty is like as we talked already about the pace of this format. Year of the Blaze takes 1 card in your deck, so it's your gimmicky, yes, I will win harder, but you have to survive until there, and then you have to have the opportunity to take a whole turn to just cast that card, which doesn't do anything until your next turn, and you have to hope that you're still alive by then. Then you will have the impact, and then you will be better. So it is just too slow. I tried it once just because I had a very good deck and I had like 1 slot over, which I would normally fill with something. I was like, nah, let's do the Year of the Blaze. And actually, I think it lost me 2 of my 5 games just to have this card. So nope, for me, it's unfortunately, I really like the card, but it's actually a D.
Yeah, I have it as an F, but yeah, you could technically put it in a deck and it has a huge impact if you cast it, but yeah, it's just never gonna happen basically. Nelly Long Arms is next. We're on water now. 3 mana, 2 water threshold for a 2 power minion. It's a unique fairy. It has submerge and it has tap, shoot a projectile. If it hits a unit, drag it here. Nelly may submerge it. So you want to play this on a water site, and then it's like a punch butcher that kills whatever it hits, basically. So I give this a B plus, I think. I don't know. I mean, the 2 power isn't great. Like, it's easy to kill, but if it does survive and like, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's like pretty easy to play around, so I don't think the impact is really as high as it looks. How do you feel about this card?
Yeah, I'm a bit the same. I gave it a B plus because I played against it once and it was super annoying. And I was like, whoa, this is how that card works. So it's really, I mean, you cannot ignore it. But it's not that strong. Yeah, so I gave it a B plus, but I should test it more in all honesty.
Yeah, same.
All right, next one is Ribble Boggart, a 3 mana, 3-part minion for only 1 water threshold. It's an elite fairy. At the start of your turn, Boggart gains a random mutation until the end of turn. It can get airborne, ranged, lethal, or +3 power. I really, really like Ribble Boggart because it is easy to cast. In worst scenario, it is a 3 mana, 3-part minion, which we all love. And just the unpredictability of the effect is so annoying for your opponent. Like, it can get ranged, it can get airborne, and so your nearby minions are not safe. It can just become a 6-part minion. And I think the card is well balanced because on your opponent's turn, it is just a normal 3-part minion. The effect goes away. So I give Ribble Boggart a solid B+, because you will always play with it.
Yep, same here. I have it at B+. Really nasty card. 3 mana, 2 water threshold for Salmon of Knowledge. It's a 0 power minion. It is an elite beast. It has submerge, waterbound, and other units at this site may fish. Which means you can tap that minion to roll a d20. If you get a 14+, you banish Salmon of Knowledge and you draw 3 spells. So this is basically Morgana Le Fay, is what I'm hearing. No, so I've played with this card probably way more than I should have. Yeah, it turns out like Arthurian Legends is just way too fast for this thing to really do what it's trying to do. If this was a really slow format, this card would be, I think, a lot better if it had more like tokens and stuff, but for the most part, the tokens you're making are Lance tokens, so Yeah, unfortunately, the tempo loss that you have to pay to actually draw the cards with this is way too big, and it's really fun though. I'll be honest. But realistically, I give this like a D plus.
Yeah, I'm a D. Like it is, as you say, it is a fun card, but just having a 1 in 3 chance, like if it's three, like then it's still okay, but it's like your avatar is fishing most of the time, so that is then 3 sides. That no, it's just a D. Anyway, I agree with what you said. Uh, Next one is the Lady of the Lake. 3 mana for a 3 powered minion for 3 water thresholds, a unique mortal, which is a spellcaster and she can submerge. She has a Genesis ability that says you may summon a mortal or artifact from your cemetery to Lady of the Lake's location. If you do, shuffle her into her own spellbook. Lady of the Lake is good. Of course, we are talking limited, so 3 water threshold is not easy. And if you play her on turn 6, then it is only a 3 part minion. But the fact that she is a spellcaster, which can have an effect, but most of the time you just want to get a very big or juicy mortal back. So she is versatile. So I still think it's really a good card. I would like to play it. Would I first pick it over a bigger minion? I don't know. Probably I would take the other thing. So I just gave her a B.
Would you give her a B?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I gave her a C plus, but if you have like actual sirs that are good to get back, then I gave it a B plus.
No.
This card is so nasty in cube because someone always ends up with Green Knight and Lady of the Lake in the same deck, and you can just loop Green Knight over and over and over with this card. But yeah, in most decks, it's just going to be like a pretty solid card still. And you're going to have a Sir in like most of your decks. So, okay, next is Mesmerism. This is 4 mana, 4 water threshold for a unique magic. Gain control of target nearby minion. So if you're coming from Magic, one kind of weird thing with gain control effects in this game is that if the minion is untapped, you can actually just attack with it immediately. It doesn't have to be under your control for an entire turn for the summoning sickness to wear off. So a lot of the time you can just cast this, gain control of something that's untapped, and then like attack their other unit, and you already got like a 3-for-1 by doing that. So it's super nasty if you can cast it. So my rule of thumb for thresholds, and you can tell me if you agree with this. So for double threshold cards, you want to have like 5 sites of that threshold at least. And then I just go, if there's a triple threshold card, I want 6 sites. If there's a quadruple threshold card, I want 7 sites in my deck, which is kind of a lot. So you kind of need some fixing, or you need to be really, really heavy in water to play this card. But if you do that, then I think this card is an A. I mean, it can easily win you the game. You do have to be nearby, but that's not that hard to do. Yeah, it's great when you're behind. It's very good when you're ahead. It's just a very flexible card. You just have to meet that threshold requirement. Like you need to have like 6 sites plus an annual fair or something. And like you really can only play 2 elements if you have this card in your deck. So with all those caveats, incredible card. What do you give it?
I agree. So yeah, I actually give it a build round A plus. The card is so insanely strong. So if I open it, I will go deep in water because this card just wins games, and then it's a real bomb. So yeah, totally agree. Next one is Shapeshift. 4 mana for a 2 water threshold elite magic. An allied minion tries to transform. Look at your next 5 spells. You may choose a minion among them to be the new form. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order. This is not constructed, so I give it a solid D because it's just way too unpredictable. Like, how many amazing minions should you have in your deck when you would actually want to sacrifice, because that's what it is, another minion. So yeah, not playing it.
Yeah, it kind of especially hurts this card because we have such a fast format and you don't want a bunch of super expensive cards in your deck. That being said, I have actually lost to this card. They on turn 4 shapeshifted a fisherman's family into a Fomorian and just like ran me over.
It can happen.
Yeah. So I did take a look. So it's really just like Wyvern and the Fomorians are the only expensive cards at the lower rarities. And then there's 11 other elites and uniques that are 6+ mana that you could shapeshift into. And then I did the math on it. So if you have 3 of those kinds of cards in your deck, you have a 52% chance of hitting. That's not actually that bad. And then if you have 4, you have a 64% chance. If you have 5, then it's a 73% chance. So the fact that we have such a small deck size does really help this card a lot. So I think if I had like 3 or 4 really good hits, like maybe I like pack 1, we're drafting beta and I get Geomancer, and then I have permission to put like Fomorians and Wyverns and all these expensive cards in my deck, and then I got a shapeshift, I'd probably play it. And like, you know, you're kind of living a dream when you do that. So
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, if it would be a weekly draft, yes, I would go for it. But if I would really be in a sanctioned tournament, no way. Like,
yeah.
if I sacrifice my 2-part minion and I get a lancer out of it, no, that's you're just wasting. You're not only wasting your card, you're also wasting time. And I want to do other stuff on my 4-mana turn. So
Yeah. Also, just to note, you like don't get Genesis abilities out of this. So
also. Okay, next one. Sylvan Spender, 4 mana, 2 water threshold, and elite aura. Whenever you cast a beast or fairy to an affected site, draw a spell. This spell, if an affected site is successfully attacked. I think Sylvan Spender is a straight F, or it is a build around B plus somewhere. But the reality is, like, you are able to grab a lot of beasts and fairies if you want to in water, because you have the sly foxes and you have so many fairies, so that's not the thing. But you first need to have one in play. You have then to cast a Silver Spender on top of it, and you're not doing anything that turn. So if you're being attacked, you will receive a lot of damage, and your opponent will evolve his board. And then you can start drawing the cards. Perhaps they remove your beast or fairy, whatever. So yeah, this is not for me.
yeah, so I looked. I think this is a Water Earth card. So out of the 30 minions in Water and Earth at Ordinary and Exceptional, 15 of them would trigger this. They are beasts or fairies. So that means on average, maybe you'll have 8 or 9 cards that will actually trigger this, but it's 4 mana, do nothing, and then if you get 1 trigger, it just replaces itself for 4 mana. That's horrible. Like we aren't even high on 1 mana draw spell. So it has to draw at least 2 cards, and then I don't think you're even that happy because you had to wait multiple turns to do it. And like, yeah, it's so hard for this to actually win you the game. So I give it like a C+ build around, but I gave it an F as well, as just like, just don't play this card basically.
I once had it, and I had so many beasts and fairies, and in the end I had to cut cards, and in the end I just cut it because I was like, these beasts are so good, I actually don't need it. And the fact is, like, if you want to play it, you actually want to play it protected, so you probably want to create that area where it's more safe, but then all your beasts are so far away, and then no.
Okay, Questing Beast is next. It is 5 mana, 2 water threshold for a 5 power minion. It's a unique beast. It has lethal and stealth, and at the end of your turn, Questing Beast may take a step. This card is just busted. 5 mana for 5 power with multiple keywords, and it has a mobility ability. Like, this card's just insane. So I gave it an A. Could even be an A+, honestly. Like, the fact that it has stealth and you're just always going to get something with it is just unfair, honestly. So where are you at on it?
I agree. I gave it an A, because now it will lose its stealth when it uses its effect, if I understood the new rulings correctly. But the lethal part also has some benefit to it. There are really minions that are bigger than 5 part minions, so yeah, Questing Beast is very, very solid.
Okay. I think the ability is a triggered ability, not an activated ability, so I don't think it would lose stealth.
Okay. Then we come to the Master Store Worm, a 6 mana 7-part minion for 3 water thresholds. It is an elite beast and it has Submerge Waterbound, and it has in a tap ability choose a direction from Master Store Worm, deal lethal damage to each unit at a location in the area of effect. I had to think about of this one, but I actually give it an A+. Which is perhaps a bit surprising, but Mrs. Stewworm is crazy good. Just because we are not in beta, this is Arthurian Legends, there is a lot of good water sites, and thus you really can create even if it's a small location of water, even if it cannot attack your opponent because he's not playing water, just to have the all area control, like if it goes sideways, up or to the right, basically it covers nearly the whole board where you are battling it out, and your opponent just has to hide. They cannot. I mean, where would you go? The thing can deal with everything, and also the 7 power. It is so annoying. You cannot kill it. It is so difficult to kill, and just because there are so many other cards like Pond. Pond gives -1 for beast, and this is a beast, and it will also ignore threshold. So basically, with a Pond, you can cast this guy for 5 mana, and then it just takes over the board. Like, yeah, Message Stoneworm is just obnoxious. It is crazy good, and if your opponent is playing with water, then it's insane. So yeah, I gave it a solid A+.
Okay, yeah, I give it an A. Yeah, I used to think this card was gonna be pretty bad because I was used to beta, and then it turns out like people just play water a lot. It's like maybe the best element. So, this card's ability just can't be understated. Like it just controls the entire board, and like we said in beta, like the removal was pretty good, and a lot of it was unconditional. And in Arthurian Legends, a lot of it just like deals damage, and you have to like 2-for-1 yourself, like arc lightning magic missiles just to kill this thing, and like that's just never gonna happen. So this thing just does not die, basically.
Yeah, and also it also lets me attack with my weaker minions, because I can attack forward, and what are they going to do? Kill with their Amazon War my 2-part minion, and then I just kill their minions. So yeah, that guy is really off the charts.
All right, Sealy Court is next. 6 mana, 2 water threshold for a 5-power minion. It is an elite fairy. At the start of your turn, players draw a spell for each fairy in the realm. So I think we said water, air is the fairy elements. Not that you really need to build around this card. It is a fairy itself. So at the start of your turn, each player will draw a card, which is better for you than your opponent because you get to use your card before they do. And if you build around this, you get multiple cards, but then your opponent gets multiple cards. So there's not really a need to build around this, honestly. I don't know. So I give this a B- just on the fact that it's a 5-power minion and there's not that many of them. The draw card thing isn't that important to this card's rating, I don't think, but obviously it changes the game a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was slightly. So overall, I agree with you. I gave it a B because 5-part minions are just good. But like the other one, the unsealed cards is, in my opinion, better. Because here, drawing the cards, like if you are behind and you want to have sealed cards have its impact on the board, your opponent will draw extra cards, which is really annoying if you're behind. Yes, you will draw your own your cards first, but like they can also play fairies, and you really don't want your opponent also to draw multiple cards. So sealing card is just good. I would always play with it when I'm in water, but it could also backfire a little bit. So I just gave it a B. Then we come to the Green Knight, a 6 mana 3/7 part minion, so 3 attack, 7 defense for 3 water threshold. It's a unique mortal, and it says whenever an enemy minion can attack the Green Knight, it must. And then it has a death right ability, strike target nearby enemy. Yeah, the Green Knight is completely busted. If you haven't played with the card, just do it. Always take it if you can, play with it whenever you can. The 3/7 makes it so with the other 7 power minions, it's very difficult to kill it, and you have to probably sacrifice multiple minions to kill it. And also then it will death right and then strike you. So this is by definition, when you cast it, you will always kill a minion of your opponent. So that is 1 down, and then often they have to sacrifice 2 others. So this is a 3-for-1 card. Green Knight is amazing. I gave it a straight A+.
Yep, I give it an A+ as well. Like, yeah. You can even just play it in a spot where they attack 6 power into it and it just survives, and then you just basically do it again next turn. Like, yeah. Oof. Crazy card. I can't believe they printed that card, honestly. Such a limited bomb. Okay, Great Drowning of Men. This is like Year of the Blaze, but for water. It's 7 mana, 4 water threshold, unique aura. At the start of your turn, destroy affected sites and flood the resulting rubble. Then submerge everything atop them and dispel the Great Drowning of Men. I guess this is actually worse than the fire one because it just submerges things and it doesn't necessarily actually kill them. So that's pretty bad. I think I gave the Year of the Blaze an F. And maybe it's like a build around D+ or something. I don't know.
But it floods the resulting rubble, so it will kill it. But yeah, it's the same. Okay, then we come to air. First one is a Midsummer Night's Dream, and it's never a good sign when I have to read a card over and over again to know what it's doing. So it's a 3 mana, 2 air threshold, unique aura that says mortals here are disabled, and each gives +1 power to all fairies here. This spell if there are no fairies here. So if it would only been the first one, mortals here are disabled, then it would be playable. But just this spell, if there are no fairies here, means it can go away. So this is just a straight F for me. Perhaps it could be in constructed a sideboard card or whatever, but no, not unlimited.
Yeah, I kind of went through it on this card when I read it for this review. I was like, oh, is this card actually good? Like, it just disables all the minions, or it disables all the mortals there. And then I was like, oh, wait, yeah, you have to have a fairy there for it to even hit the board, basically. Like, you just play it and it would just immediately be dispelled if there's not already a fairy there. Like, oh my god. Like, yeah, this card is an F. Just don't play it, basically. Feast for Crows. 3 mana, 2 air threshold for a unique magic. Name a spell, search an opponent's hand, spellbook, and cemetery for cards with that name and banish them. Then they shuffle their spellbook. So you get to look through their spellbook, so you get some information. But unless you happen to have a lookout, you're not going to know what they're going to have in their hands. You don't even get a 1-for-1 with it. It's just an F. Just don't play this card in limited.
Yes, I agree. Next one is King's Council, 3 mana for a 2 air threshold elite magic, which has draw a card for each unique ally. So I always want to read draw 4 cards, but that is never happening. That means you would have to have an ordinary, an exceptional, an elite, and a unique, which, I mean, that is just a no. So 3 cards, I even don't think that ever happens. So in best scenario, this is a 3 mana draw 2 cards spell, and you have to work for it. So I just gave it a D to D minus. I never put this in my deck. It's even drawing 2 cards is not good enough to go through all that hassle.
It's not different rarities. It's unique allies.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, it's still it's even worse than you said, and it's an F.
Whoops. Yeah. That is how well I know the cards. My apologies.
Yeah, you're good. It doesn't change the grade, really. Merlin is next. It's 3 mana, 3 air threshold for a 3 power minion. It's a unique mortal. It's a spellcaster. Anytime during your turn, Merlin may look at your next spell, and you may cast it if it's a magic spell. So, Yeah, I've just never had a deck with enough magics that I felt like this would be worth picking highly for, but honestly, in like an average deck, you might be able to draw a card off of this, and that's just fine. So I give this like a B minus. If you end up with a bunch of magics in your deck, then maybe it gets bumped up a little bit. But honestly, like I wouldn't go crazy and put like 10 magics in my deck just because I have a Merlin or anything. But it's just going to be a 3 mana, 3 power spellcaster that sometimes draws you an extra spell, and that's pretty solid.
Yeah, I agree. I gave it a B minus as well. The good thing about the card is that it's a 3 mana, 3 part minion. But then for 3 threshold, it is not good. So you have to be really very committed to air to make it playable. And then, I mean, how many spells do you actually, or magics do you actually have in your deck? 4, 5, 6? So the chance is very low. So yeah, if it happens, you're happy with it. But it also then forces you to play that magic. So yeah, B minus and C plus even. I already removed it from my deck just because it's not stable enough. Next one is the Black Plague, 4 mana for 2 air threshold, a unique aura, which says at the end of your turn, the weakest minion occupying affected side dies. If tied, choose one, dispel if none die. So this is the counterpart of the Great Famine. As you say, it is a bit weaker because sometimes the biggest minion is the annoying one you want to kill. On the other hand, if it's your turn, you can probably just move away, make space for it, and just kill that annoying minion. So I think the Black Plague is still, a B plus to A minus. I think it is a very good removal spell, and I would always play it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so I gave this one a B as well, but I totally agree. It is just kind of like the best removal spell in the whole set, honestly. So it probably does get into like the A range. Fairy Queen, 4 mana, 2 air threshold for a 3 power minion. It's a unique fairy. It has airborne and spellcaster. Nearby allied fairies take no damage from units with 4 or more power. So it does count itself. So not that that's like super important that it can attack a 4 power minion and not die, because it also won't kill what it attacks, but there's a lot of fairies in the set. And 4 mana, 3 power airborne is I think just a good card. Like airborne does bump up the power of this card by a lot. I don't think I've ever seen like spellcaster come up on this, but some things to note. So lances do not count as power. So a 3 power minion with a lance will deal damage to this and other fairies nearby it. And then the units with split power are really interesting with this card. So for instance, Sir Bors is a 4/2. He is considered a 3 power minion for this card. So he will actually deal damage to a Fairy Queen and kill it. There are other cards, like there's like a 3/6 and a 4/3 and so forth. So just make sure you know that you have to average the attack power and the defense power, and that's actually what the power of this minion is. So yeah, I like this card a lot. I give it a B plus. It's just gonna dominate the board if it's covered in like little minions, and it's really tricky to get around. I mean, airborne on a 3 power minion is just very powerful. Like Plume Pegasus was a pretty amazing card in beta. Where are you at on it?
I'm at B minus because you did a whole explanation and that basically never happens. Like it just happened in so 9 cases out of 10 it is just a 4 mana 3 part airborne minion. And if I then think about beta, about the hippogriffs which have charge, I would always pick hippogriffs above the Fairy Queen.
That's true.
But yeah, as you say, it is true. It is a 4 mana 3 part airborne minion, which is good. So I would always play with it, but I would always take a charge minion over it, like the hippogriffs. Then we come to Ball Lightning, a 5 mana 2 air threshold elite magic card, which says shoot a projectile, it deals 4 damage on impact, then changes direction. Its next impact deals 2, then it changes direction, and its final impact deals 1 damage. So I think I like really the card as a concept. We all love Ball Lightnings, I think. So the card is nice. Is it good though? I gave it a B. I think just being able to deal 4 damage to a minion is very important that you can do so. But Air also has the Arc Lightning, which is actually easier. And then changing direction, it can have its effect, but it just doesn't happen that often. I have had it that actually people removed 3 minions of mine because of it, but it just doesn't happen that often. So Ball Lightning is okay, I would say. So I gave it a B to B minus.
Yeah, I gave it a B minus, and that's I think the same grade that I gave to Arc Lightning, and I think that makes sense. Like you might sometimes get a 2-power minion with this, like you might get a 2 for 1, but yeah, most of the time it's just gonna be 5 mana deal 4. That's just okay. Ninth Legion.
A bit expensive.
Oh yeah. Okay, Ninth Legion is next. 3 air threshold, 6 mana, 6 power minion. It's a unique spirit. It has Void Walk. It must be cast to a corner, and it has Deathrite. Return it to your hand. So I think in a really slow set, this card would be really amazing. But yeah, 6 mana minions are playable in limited, but normally you can play them where it actually matters to play them. Like you can play them and then block with them. And this, you're putting it way in the corner. Like hopefully you're putting it in your opponent's corner most of the time. And then hopefully it's like right next to a site that it can attack, so it's not too slow. I don't know. I'm kind of like in the middle on this card. I give it a C, which is kind of weird for 6 mana, 6 power, but I have also seen games that do just go long, and someone had one of these and it just completely ran the game because they could just never get rid of it. So what's your experience with it?
I tested it once, played it once, never again. I just gave it a solid D. As you say, the format is way too fast. They are in a corner. Like everything is happening in the middle of the board. You're dying, and then it's like you have to cast you have to cast it, so a full turn to put it in a corner. It has no effect. Then it has to actually take a step, another turn, and then potentially it can start blocking, because by God, I guarantee that you will be behind by then.
Yeah.
So Ninth Legion just and as you say, there's probably a situation if it's both sides are very controlly, and the Ninth Legion has time to just come back, then of course it will take over the game. But honestly, that is not the Arthurian Legends, that format that I know and play. So no, it's solid D for me. Next one is the Wild Hunt, 6 mana for a 5-part minion, 3 air threshold for a fairy elite. It has airborne, and it says other nearby spirits and fairies have charge. So this is equivalent to a wyvern. Wyvern is very good. I mean, this is a 5-powered airborne minion. Yes, it has a 3 threshold, so you have to be very committed to air, but that is not a big deal. If you can play it, yeah, it's a solid creature. And the extra effect, I haven't seen it happen that much. Spirits is not a real thing, and fairies with church, why not? It's just an upside that is free. So I am on an, I would even go to I would more say B plus, but I have it at an A minus.
Okay. Yeah, what did I give this? Yeah, I gave it a B plus, and I have actually seen the ability matter. Like, yeah, there's a bunch of fairies in water and air. Yeah, spirits, like you said, isn't a thing at all. Like, there's Keening Banshee, there's Castle Haunt, and there's Ninth Legion, I think are the only fairies, and they're all like pretty bad.
Spirits.
Yeah, so yeah, it's all about the fairies, which, yeah, there's a couple in Earth that are good, Blue Cap Knockers and Kettletop Leprechaun, and then there's a bunch in Water and Air, so probably end up in Water and Air, ideally, but honestly, just any Air deck is just going to play this and be very happy with it. To note, I think it gives your opponent's things charged too, so I guess just watch out for that or be aware of it, but honestly, your opponent's probably not even going to know that, so it's basically just upside, honestly. Okay, Thundering Giant is next. It is 6 mana, 2 air threshold for 4 power minion. It's an elite giant. It has charge, and once on your turn, Thundering Giant may teleport to another nearby location, tap all other units there on arrival. I give this an A minus. I have had this a couple times, and it's just been pretty wild. Like, it just completely knocks all of your opponent's blockers out of the way. It blinks itself and has charge, so it can just move all the way across the board the turn that you play it. Like, the range on this is pretty amazing. I mean, 4 power minions are pretty good, like, especially with a bunch of mobility. Like, it'll just always eat something if you want it to. Yeah, difficult to block, easy to get like the death blow in, all kinds of stuff. So the only thing it's missing is airborne, because it really looks like it has airborne, but it really doesn't. But yeah, A minus. What do you say?
I have Thundering Giant as A+. I think the card is a complete bomb. It dominates the board. It's a 4 mana charge. It will always trade off well. And just the fact that it can tap anything that you want, like, it screws your opponent so hard, and they still have to be able to kill it. So no, for me it's a A+. Too strong. The card is just crazy good. Next one, Unseelie Court, 6 mana, 5 power minion, 2 air threshold for a fairy elite. This one is the other one. At the start of your turn, players discard a spell for each fairy in the realm. I think this one is better because discarding it is just very annoying, and it's like drawing cards. You don't mind. You just draw your cards, but the moment that you are going to discard cards means it puts pressure on just playing whatever is in your hand, your magics, your magic missiles, because your opponent can always play a fairy or you can play a fairy. It's really strong. So yeah, for Unseelie Court, I am at a solid B+. It's a strong minion, and the effect is really annoying, and I can decide when I play it B+ to even A-.
Okay. Yeah, I'm into that. I'm okay with giving it the same score as Seelie Court. Yeah, like you said, the discard, it is probably just better than the draw. But either way, you're just gonna play either one of these and be happy. And just remember, like, this is a fairy itself. You don't need to build around this at all. Okay, Arcane Barrage. Oh, and by the way, you discard before you draw, right? This triggers before.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's important to know. Okay, Arcane Barrage. This is an X cost, 3 air threshold magic. It's elite. You shoot X projectiles in the same direction, 1 at a time. Each deals 1 damage. I give this a B+. I have been able to, like, wipe my opponent's board with it. It's pretty funny, like, drafting Cube, I've had this in the same pack as a Lava Flow, and, like, I think Lava Flow is actually just better. Like, it just deals more damage for less mana. And you're not really casting this for more than 5 or 6 mana ever, so yeah, incredible card. It's easy to get like a 2-for-1 or better with this. Tons of range. You can even cast it early if you get triple threshold early, but obviously you're fully dedicated to air. What do you give it?
I just give it a solid A. Like, it is flexible, it can blow up stuff. There's not that crazy amount of direct or easy removal in Arthurian Legends, and it finishes your opponent. I think it's better the longer the game goes, the better it becomes, of course, because it just deals more damage. But yeah, I think Arcane Barrage is solid. You always will play with it. Oh. Okay, then we are going into the golden era, which the first one is our good Sir Tom Thumb, which is a 2 mana, 2 power, 1 defense unique fairy. It is 1 water threshold and 2 air thresholds. And it says, funnily enough, may be carried by any beast, also your opponents, by the way. And it has a Deathrite ability, return to hand. Sir Tom Tom is extremely strong. Because so the difficulty about this card is the threshold. Like you really have to be in water air, but then having a 2 mana 2-part minion that just keeps coming back and back and back. And the thing is, like, it's so cheap that it will appear all the time. So in the worst situation, it is just a chum blocker. It will eliminate the best minion of your opponent. And in better scenarios, you can actually attack, kill itself, and just cast it anywhere. So it's also switches around the board to go where it's mostly needed. If you have a beast, you can even do shenanigans with it. So it's certain time. And the 2-part it's not nothing. I mean, you can kill 2-part minions, 3-part minions are at risk because of Sir Tom Tom of your opponent. So yeah, I just gave it a straight A. And just as a side comment for all the Sirs, I think all the Sirs are very, very strong. So I give an A to everything that I think is really, really strong. A plus are for the ultimate bombs, and there are some here. So otherwise, I would say Sir Tom Tom is just an A plus because play with it and you will always be happy. But just because the power level of these Sirs is so high, I just give it an A.
Yeah, I love Sir Tom Thumb so much. Like, it's such a fun card. I'm kind of sad I've never actually seen it been picked up by a beast yet, but just what an obnoxious card, honestly. Yeah, I give it an A as well. Sir Agravain is next. It is 3 mana, 2 fire threshold, 1 water threshold for a 3 power, 2 defense power minion. It's a unique mortal. It has stealth and movement +1. Whenever another ally attacks an enemy adjacent to Sir Agravain, he strikes that enemy afterwards without losing stealth. Yeah, I mean, what more can you ask for on a card? Like, all of those abilities are very important, and they come up. It even works on their avatar. So, yeah, I mean, basically, he can just be wherever he wants because of the movement +1, and then if you're ever attacking their stuff, like, you can just move Sir Agravain near it and then attack and then just get an extra 3 damage. Like, it's kind of like a Boudica for minions. So I give it an A.
Yeah, I gave it. I was sparse with my A pluses, but I give Sir Agravain an A plus. It deals so much damage. So the only side note I would make is it's not constructed. So in constructed, you really have such an aggressive deck that Sir Agravain will remain stealthed and it will deal so much damage. So it's a bit different in limited. So sometimes it will just be a 3-part minion that has just 2 movement and you just decide to attack with it and then the effect is less strong. But yeah, if you're just attacking, casting Sir Agravain, the card is just nuts. Yeah, everything you wish for. Next one is Sir Bors the Younger, 3 mana for a 4 power 2 defense unique mortal. It has 1 earth threshold and 2 air thresholds. It says it has range 2 and enemies lose stealth. I like Sir Bors a lot. I gave it an A minus. So range 2, not a lot of things have range 2. Normally range 1 is already annoying enough. Range 2 makes it so that if you cast it next to your avatar on side, what is it, 8 or 13, it can actually hit your opponent, the avatar, right in the face, and 4 damage is a lot. So you cannot ignore Sir Bors. So the only downside is that it's weak. It only has a 2-part power, so magic missiles, etc. will kill it off, but you really have to kill it. Now, the thing with range, I'm not so high on ranged because it is on the board. You see that it's there. And so what will happen is that Sir Bors will be more on the defensive control side. And then it's like any other ranged card. Like, it is there, you know, you cannot go there. It can be very annoying and it can seal you off. So yeah, I just gave it an A minus.
Okay. Yeah, I gave it a B plus. Yeah, just because of kind of what we've talked about with range, like not being quite as good as it looks. Yeah, the power of being able to just hit their avatar from your side is pretty massive. It's kind of like a Punch Butcher almost, but it doesn't have a mobile, so you can't just attack with it. So yeah, amazing card. I'm gonna play it every time that I can. Basically, I will splash for it. So not a huge distinction between A minus and B plus here. Sir Peleus, 3 mana, 2 water threshold, 1 air threshold for a 4 power, 3 defense power minion. It's a unique mortal. It has submerge, and it can move freely between water locations. So it can like submerge and unsubmerge whenever it wants. And that's pretty cool. So you can just play it submerged and then pop up and block with it. Or you can pop up and attack with it. All that good stuff. I give it a B. I've been pretty impressed with it, but it is 3 defense power, which can get just killed sometimes, even though it does have that little bit of protection with being submerged. Yeah, pretty solid.
I gave it a B minus. For me, it's like if I have to choose between a 3 mana 4/3 minion or a 3 mana 3-part minion with stealth, I just choose a stealth minion. So it is true, it is submerged and it can come up, but then you have the limitation that it has to be on water. So you actually have to have a lot of water to make it that effect good. So yeah, B minus, it's okay. Next one is King Arthur. I have to search for our good king. So hold on. King Arthur is a 4 mana 5-part minion. And it has all the thresholds: 1 fire, 1 air, 1 earth, and 1 water. It is unique mortal and king of kings. Players can't control cards owned by other players. So the effect is completely, let's not talk about the effect. I think mesmerism or is the only thing in Arthurian Legends. So basically it is 4 mana for 5 power, which is very strong, but it has all the elements. So I just give King Arthur a D or a build around A. But like, come on. So this will really be very good and effective if you can cast it on turn 4 or turn 3 in some miracle way. But it's not happening. So I never play with King Arthur because I never play with 4 elements.
Yeah, I've never played with this card either. I give it an F. Like, technically you could have like Wedding Hall and put this in your deck, but Wedding Hall provides no mana. That site is not really something you want to be playing. I did see someone like try, like they drafted Wedding Hall and King Arthur, and then we're like hoping for Queen Guinevere to come around, and it just obviously didn't because it's unique. So yeah, it's just an F. Basically, just don't play it. And very similar to that, we have Queen Guinevere. It's 4 mana, and it's 1 of each threshold again. So it's fire, air, earth, water. It's a 1 power minion, and it's a unique mortal. Once on your turn, Queen Guinevere may untap target allied minion. So basically, you're just never going to be able to cast it. If you're in some weird deck that you're actually able to cast this, then it's still just a 1 power minion, so it's even worse than King Arthur. I give it an F.
Completely agree. It's just bad. Like, once a turn, Queen Guinevere may untap target allied minion, so you have to have another minion, and it has then have a big effect. No, not happening. Next one is Sir Balin. 4 mana for a 3 power 4 defense unique mortal. It's 1 air threshold and 2 fire thresholds, which is an aggressive combination. It starts off with a lance, and whenever Sir Balin strikes an avatar, destroy that avatar's site, then bury other minions and artifacts there. So basically it comes into play as a 4/4 first strike, which is very good. And if you are able to attack your opponent's avatar and destroy a site, it is really bonkers. So it goes to the A plus range, but because of the constraints, I gave it an A. Sir Balin is so scary. It is only a 4 4-part minion, but that is more than good enough. And it just you have so many movement things that you can do. So you, if I have to play against it, I'm always afraid it will hit my avatar in some way, especially with beta and grapple shots and whatever. So Sir Balan, you have to deal with it. Yeah, so solid A for me.
Yep, I give it an A minus. Nothing more to add, really. Sir Bedivere is 4 mana, 2 Earth Threshold, 1 Water Threshold for a 3 attack power, 4 defense power minion. It's a unique mortal. If Sir Bedivere is carrying an artifact at the start of your turn, you draw a card. I give it a C plus just on rate. Like a 3/4 is just good. I give it a B if you can build around it and you have like a bunch of lances, like maybe you have like 3 or 4 squires and or knights or other things like that. There's not really other artifacts that I like to play, ones that you're just going to be having Sir Bedivere carry around. But if you can just give him a lance, that's pretty nice. One thing that really hurts this card though is that it's double earth, and the earth squire is the worst squire. So yeah, you really just have to have like a bunch of shameless squires basically for this card to work. And even if it doesn't like work and draw you cards, like it's going to be kind of a scary thing on board, I guess, for your opponent to look at and be like, oh no, do I need to worry about this card? But for the most part, it's just going to be a 4 mana, 3/4 minion, and that's like a C plus.
Yeah, I agree with what you say. Have it as a B minus. Because I was successful in the past to just cast an artifact on it and then it just wins you the game. But it takes so much time, so most of the time it's just 4 mana for a 3/4 minion, which is okay. So perhaps your C plus is more accurate. Next one is Sir Geharis. And I have to see that I have the right one because my cards are screwed up a little bit.
Do you want me to read it?
Here I have him. No, sorry. So it's a 4 mana, 3-part, 5 defense, unique mortal with 1 fire threshold and 2 water threshold. It comes into play with a lance and untaps at the end of your turn. This was a card that I was not super excited by in the beginning, but my god, the card is so good. Because it is a 4/5, that is how it starts. And the fact that it can untap at the end of your turn gives so much extra value because 5-part minions are so difficult to kill, and because it's untapped, it will shield all your other minions. So I just give Sir Geharis an A.
Okay, yeah, I give it an A minus, but yeah, busted card, of course. You're gonna splash for this. Sir Gareth is next. It is 4 mana, 2 air threshold, 2 water threshold for a 3 power, 4 defense power minion, a unique mortal. It has the activated ability, which has like an additional cost, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of a weird ability, but if you have an air and a water threshold, and this is in your hand, you can reveal your hand to transform an allied mortal into Sir Gareth. So you have to like banish one of your mortals, basically put this in play in place of it, and then it acts as if it was that minion already, so it can attack. So you can kind of get like a weird surprise attack thing out of it, but you kind of like 2-for-1 yourself, but you didn't have to pay mana for it. I don't know. It's so funky. I've never actually seen anyone do that. I think to me this is basically just a 4 mana 3/4, which is a C plus. It's basically the same as the last Sir that I read. Have you ever seen someone do it?
No, and I think you really want to use tokens for this, and then you have to have beta. So no, I think there's a lot of fun stuff there, but it's just never happening. So I think I gave it a B. Well.
Okay.
Next one, Sir Gawain, 4 mana for a 3-part 5 defense, also unique mortal, of course. This one is 2 earth threshold, 1 fire, and 1 water. It says Sir Gawain takes damage for other adjacent allies. If he dies from damage taken this way, draw a card. So the real difficult thing about this card is the threshold. It is 3 threshold or 3 elements, and you have to be in Earth, so that's the extra challenge. But if you take that out of the equation, like a 3/5 for 4 mana is very good, and then it can protect your other minions. And that is no joke because you cannot easily kill a 5-part minion. Also, you have complete control over the positioning, where you place it, how you protect your minions, and how. I think Sir Gawain is very, very good. It's way better than I thought. And if they just kill it, you'd still draw your cards and you haven't lost anything. And you have control on which minions survive. I think Sir Gawain is a solid A.
Okay.
If you can cast it.
Yeah, I gave it an A minus. But once again, yeah, this is just a busted card. I think we should talk about the 3 threshold on here, the 3 different elements, a little bit, because yeah, I've been telling people, like, basically all this means is that Earth is your primary element. You can still have water or fire as your other primary element, and then you just can't play air, basically. Like, we're always happy to just play 3 elements. Like, you're gonna play 2 elements straight up and then splash a 3rd element. So this is just one of those cards that you can just splash if you're in those 3 elements. Yeah, the only way that you can't play this is if you either already know your 2 primary elements and they have double threshold in them, and neither of them are Earth, or if one of your primary elements is air. So that means, like, you can actually play this card, like, most of the time, basically. If you get this early enough in a draft, like, it kind of locks you into those 3 elements, but you still have flexibility as to what your second element is going to be. So don't be afraid to take these cards. I think early in the format, I thought it was going to be kind of difficult to play any of these 3 element ones, but once I realized you should just be splashing most of the time, it's like these cards are just pretty amazing.
That's a very good comment to make, because I 100% agree. If you are taking Sir Gawain, you 100% as you said, and it is completely playable. Especially if you have some families or an annual fair, then it even becomes really easy to get it into play. And then the effect, the how strong that card is, has such an impact on the game that it's really worthwhile to really adjust yourself to those 3 elements. No issue there.
All right, moving on to Sir Ironside. This is 4 mana, 2 water threshold, 1 earth threshold for a 4 power minion. It's a unique mortal, and it has +3 power during enemy turns. So you play this, you pass the turn, and then it's a 7 power minion on blocks. So yeah, this can just totally stabilize the board on its own. And it's no chump on your turn either. Like, it's 4 power minion still. So this I give an A. I play this card all the time because I draft water a lot, and I'm not afraid to splash. And you should just take this and splash for it anytime that you're playing water. So yeah.
I really hate these cards because I've lost so many times because of this. They are on the play and they cost this on turn 4. Good luck. You just cannot kill it. It's like super, super annoying. Completely agree with the grades. Next one is Sir K. It is also a 4 mana for 4 power. It's 2 fire threshold, 1 air threshold, 1 earth threshold. It's a unique mortal. Whenever Sir K targets a weaker minion, he untaps. So the same comments here is valid. It's also a 3 element cards. But here the upside is way less high than Ironside, for instance. So what I like about the card, that it's a 4 mana for 4 part minion, but then having that struggle with the threshold might be an issue. And whenever Sir K targets a weaker minion, he untaps. Yes, but you see that the card is in play. So you have to have extra shenanigans to really make it useful. So for me, it is just a hard to cast 4 for 4. So I just gave it a B, basically.
Yeah, I give it a B minus, which is what I give Brown Bears. Like, yeah, it's basically just a 4 mana, 4 power minion. Totally agree. I've never seen this thing trigger and untap a single time. So, Sir Lamorak, 4 mana, 1 fire threshold, 2 air threshold for a 4 attack power, 3 defense power minion. It's a unique mortal. It has Death Right, strike each nearby enemy. I think it is so wild that they have it only strike enemies. Like there's just no downside on this card. It's so hard to not get 2-for-1 against this. Yeah, I give it an A plus. Like this is exactly what I want to be drafting.
This card is ugly. It's really a nightmare, and you just have to deal with it. You have to just take the pain, and it's always hurtful. And also, if you're on that door, you can forget it. It will just kill you. I think it's yeah, one of the easiest A pluses in the game. Next one is Sir Morion. It's a 4 mana 3-part minion. It has 1 earth and 2 fire threshold. Unique mortal, Genesis, summon 2 foot soldier tokens here, and enemy projectiles can't enter here. So, surprisingly, this card seems very strong because it's actually 4 mana for 5 power. But in my personal experience, whenever I play against it, it is never that annoying for some reason. Like I'm always able to kill the minions or whatever, or sometimes it just doesn't do anything. What sometimes really makes a real impact is the enemy projectiles cannot enter here. Just to have it positioning, I mean, you cannot magic missile into it or whatever. So that sometimes really has an effect. So I don't understand it myself because I think 5 mana for 4 is very good, but it's less impactful than Sir Ironside, which is a 7-power minion, which is way more annoying to deal with because the tokens you can. Yeah, so I gave it an A minus. I will always play with it. It's easy to cast, and I will always want to have it in my deck, but it's less impactful than the other strong guys.
Okay, yeah, I also give it an A minus, and yeah, I've had a lot of luck with it. I don't know, maybe maybe yeah, I guess you're right. Like there are like really a lot more like fancy abilities on a lot of these Sirs, and this is just kind of like a stat beast. It's just like a Lugbog Cat kind of card. But yeah, the projectiles things I have had matter a lot too, and it is pretty nuts. Like even if they're on its site, they still can't shoot projectiles and kill it, which is pretty cool. Okay, Sir Percival is next. It is 4 mana, 2 earth threshold, 1 air threshold. What did I just say? 4 mana, 2 earth threshold, 1 air threshold for a 4 attack power, 5 defense power minion. It has Genesis. An opponent chooses a site. When Sir Percival enters that site, draw a card, then reactivate his Genesis ability. I don't think I've ever actually seen someone draw a card with this, but it's kind of cool. Like he's on the search for the Grail. That's the flavor of it. But for the most part, he's just going to be 4 mana for a 4 or 5, and I give that a B.
Okay, I have it a little bit higher, B plus to even A minus, but I think B plus is correct. Just because 4 mana for 4/5 is actually a lot, and it's actually very good. If you cast it on turn 4, the site is nearby, but as you say, that's not what it's about. It's just a beefy minion, and the difference between 4 defense or 5 defense is actually a big deal in the early game. And if you have Sir Percival in the early game, it will really dominate the board. So that's why I think I give it a little bit higher. If you draw it on turn 6, 7, then sure, it's just a good minion then. Next one is Sir Priamus. I have to look for it again. Sorry about this. I got it here. So it's 4 mana for a 2/4, one of the weaker unique mortals. It's for a 1 fire threshold and 2 earth threshold, and it has a lance, and it is lethal. Also, your nearby allies are immune to lethal. So, Sir Priamus is a bit of a strange card because it enters as a 3/4 for 4 mana, which is decent. And with the lance, it makes it so that your lethal, it will strike first, so it will kill anything, and then it will still survive. So basically, you get 2 lethal minions, more or less. Which makes it actually a good card. The downside is that it's one of the weaker Sirs out of the whole pack. So it is not really to go hardcore to deal a lot of damage. It is really to hunt down the good minions, and then you have the same game again. They can evade it, and then if they can kill it. So yeah, I have it as an A minus. I will again always put it in my deck, and it will have its effects.
Okay. Yeah, I have it as as B plus, and yeah, it is pretty nice. Like, it is basically a 2-for-1 most of the time. Like, it just kills something for free, and then it's just sitting around, and they have to trade something else with it because it still has lethal. So yeah, pretty nice one. Dame Britomart, 5 mana, 2 water threshold, 1 air threshold, 1 earth threshold for a 3 attack power, 5 defense power minion. It has Lance, and if Dame Britomart would successfully attack an enemy site, she may summon a mortal from your cemetery to her location instead. So yeah, on rate, this is just a pretty amazing card. I give it an A+. I think this card's completely busted. And one of the nice little combos that you can have with this card is Swindler Troop. So Swindler Troop can enter, give this stealth, attack, and then trigger her ability. And then if Swindler Troop is in your cemetery, you can resummon the Swindler Troop, give it stealth again to trigger it again. So that's a really nice little combo that you can do with this. And it's in water and air, so giving it stealth is even more likely to happen because you have Treetop Hideout. Yeah, and it kind of just dominates the board. Like you said, 5 defense power is a lot. Like, the removal doesn't really deal 5 damage for the most part in this set. Yeah, is A+ too high for you?
Yes, although when I hear you reasoning, I cannot find anything in your logic. The thing is, like, when I play with it, it's kind of slow to have its effect. So as just a 4/5 first strike minion dealing damage, etc., it's amazing. It's very good. But if you really want to have it in the deck for the effect, then you have to place it somewhere that's not really in the attack zone, and you really don't want to attack that side, but you will not deal damage. You have to choose between the two. And then it will summon a minion which only has an effect the turn after. So it is actually a very slow card then. But of course, if you can do this 1 time and 2 time, it will just straight up renew the game.
Yeah.
So I have it as A-. I think often it will just be a 4/5 just attacking. And then it's a bit on the more expensive side. But yeah, like, there's so much there in this card that it can never be wrong to put it in your deck if you can cast it.
I guess something to note with the new rules, she won't have the Lance break when she prevents the damage, which is kind of a cool little thing.
Mm-hmm. Next one is Sir Galahad. It's a 5 mana, 3 power, 6 defense, unique mortal with 2 air threshold and 2 earth thresholds. Sir Galahad strikes heal you, and nearby allies take no damage from demons, spirits, and undead. So, for people perhaps new to Sorcery, if you don't know, in Arthurian Legends, not all uniques are uniques. How can you spot the real uniques? Well, this is a real unique because he has two elements, and both are 2 thresholds. So 2 air and 2 earth means actually it's unique. That's how I remember it. 5 mana for a 3/6, like the 6 mana, it's a really good body to have. And then the Sir Galahad strikes heal you, which also has had a big buff now with the recent changes. So I would say 5 mana for a 3-part minion. So the 3 power is a bit on the lower side, but just the effect that it can heal you, it will be difficult to kill. I give it an A. I don't know with the changes that it's A+ worthy. I don't think it will really tilt the game, but yeah, the card is very strong. Where are you on this card?
Yeah, I think I gave it a B+, but that was maybe before the rule change. I think I give it maybe an A- now, because she can heal a lot easier. I always call it a she, even though I'm sure all the sirs are men, but for some reason this just looks like a dame to me, maybe. And yeah, the second ability does like almost literally nothing in the set. So like we said, I think there's like 3 spirits in the whole set, and they're all like pretty terrible. And yeah, there's 0 demons, 0 undead in the entire set. So really kind of a weird card. But yeah, always play it. So yeah, I did not know that thing that you just said. Sorry, my cat is really getting into it. So the double earth threshold, double air threshold, that means that it is actually unique. It's not one of the Sirs that you actually pull at elite rarity.
No, you can look at Sir Mordred.
Okay.
Which are the other ones? Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense because, yeah, I don't see this in packs very often. So that checks out. Okay, anyway, moving on to Sir Tristan. This one is 5 mana, 2 air threshold, 1 fire threshold, 1 water threshold for a 2 attack power, 4 defense power minion. Once on your turn, Sir Tristan may tap target nearby enemy minion. That enemy doesn't untap the next time it would. So kind of like I said before, like I thought the 3 element Sirs weren't going to be very good, but it turns out that they're totally castable and you should just play them when you can. You should just splash for this and it's just going to be amazing. So, gosh, it's a cat. Yeah, so this one is no joke. I give it an A-. It really messes up the board a lot. It's kind of like the, I don't know, it's like a Genesis ability, basically. Like, tap something, it doesn't untap. Like, that's a pretty insane ability, and you can just do it every single turn. You can change which minion you want later on when they play something bigger than it, and yeah, this just totally messes with the game, so A-.
Yeah, I'm very high on Sir Tristan, just due to gameplay. For me, it's an A+. This card is a bomb for me, so the only downside, it's not that strong. It's only 2 power. It doesn't have 5 defense, it's only 4, so it can be Arc Lightning. But the upside is incredible, because the turn that you play it immediately has its effect. It will immediately take out a minion, and it will also completely disrupt any blocking structure your opponent has dealt with. So you don't see it coming. When it comes into play, it will just kill a completely defensive setup. And in best case, it will lock the best minion and put it away every turn if you want to. And as you say, you can choose every turn. Sir Tristan is a complete bomb for me. And it's not, I didn't expect it. It's really because I started playing with it, and it is just too annoying to deal with. And it just is a removal spell as well. Yeah, awesome cards. Next one is Sir Yvain. It's 5 mana for a 3/4 unique mortal for 2 earth threshold and 2 water threshold. It comes into play with a lance. It has a Genesis ability that says choose an allied beast. Sir Yvain and his beast companion have +2 power while adjacent to each other. So I think this is the only Sir that I think is not good. It is just too difficult to consistently have a beast in play that then gets to power. Now, I have had that somebody played it against me with a beast and I was immediately lost. But I don't find it easy to set up, so I gave it, I don't know then what to give it, so I just gave it a C because I didn't really know what to give. I would give it a worker build around A if you really have a lot of beasts, because then it's just very strong. But it's not consistent enough for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I also gave it a C and a build around A-. And I think like every 1 or 2 beasts that you have, it moves up like a full grade. So, or maybe like every 1 beast is like one, like it moves up from a C to a C+, and then a C+ to a B-. Like, but yeah, it's just not very good if you don't have a beast in play, and I really don't want to like hold a 5 mana card in hand until I have a beast, so it's a pretty awkward one. I agree. It's probably the one that I'm least excited to see.
And I think I also had it against me with the combo. And then they put themselves in a situation where I had a bury, I think, and I just bury the beast. The effect is gone and you just kill it. So, yeah.
All right. Sir Lancelot is next. This is 6 mana, 2 fire threshold, 2 earth threshold for a 4 attack power, 6 defense power minion. It has Lance, and the first time Sir Lancelot fights each turn, untap him. So I give this a B+. It's just a little bit expensive, and it doesn't like run the game necessarily on its own, but if you do get to untap with this and you have like a joust or a duel, those are both in its elements. Those are really, really good with it. So you can either just get a 2-for-1 with it, or you can just untap and attack their site or something. Pretty hard to kill. That's pretty nice. 6 defense power is a lot. Where are you at on it?
Yeah, I'm more on an A. I think the downside of the card, it's expensive, but it is a 5/6. Yeah, let's be. I don't know. A minus is probably better. The effect doesn't happen that much, so I think it's probably expensive. So, too expensive for the real effect, but still, it's a 5/6 for striker, which is just a very good card. So I understand your reasoning as well. Next one is Sir Mordred, 6 mana for a 4-part unique mortal. Another unique with his 2 fire, 2 water threshold. And this one has Genesis and Deathright, kill target adjacent enemy minion. This is also one of the easiest A plus cards you have. Yes, it is expensive, but it will always kill an adjacent enemy minion. And then when it dies, it will probably also kill another minion. And then in the meantime, it will just hit for 4. So this is often a 3-for-1. Yeah, Sir Mordred is just very good.
Yeah, like the definition of A being like good when ahead or behind. Like imagine this when you're behind, like it just completely stabilizes the board. Like it's so nasty. Easily like just gets a 3-for-1 some of the time, and yeah, not a bad body at all. So yeah, I also give it an A+. And then we got another good one, Sir Pellinor. This is 6 mana, 2 air threshold, 2 fire threshold for a 5 attack power, 3 defense power minion. It has charge and lance. Whenever Sir Pellinor kills the strongest enemy minion, draw a card. So it has 6 power first strike and charge when it enters. So it's just 6 mana, kill their biggest thing, draw a card, and leave behind a 5/3. And maybe you even get to draw another card off of this when it gets traded off with something. Like, yeah, I give this an A+ as well. Like, it just stabilizes the board, or it pushes aggression when you're ahead. So you just always want to play this on turn 6.
Completely agree. This card is insane. Okay, those were the gold cards. Next one are the artifacts. The first one on the list is our Amulet of Ninyen. I don't know how to pronounce it actually. It's a 1 mana unique relic. A bear can't be targeted or damaged by magic. So we are talking about limited. This is straight F for me. I would never play this. It's not because your opponent doesn't have magic in his hand, but often it's not targeted at you. Like, basically, this is a lost card in your deck, even if it would mean that you would not die to magic missiles when you're at death's door. I still want to have just minions to be able to attack.
Yeah, I give it an F. There's nothing to say about this. Just don't play it.
Yep.
Ring of Morrigan is next. It is 1 mana. I'm sure everyone knows what this card is, but I'll read it anyway. It is a unique relic. It has bearer has, whenever this unit casts a spell, they may deal 1 damage to target nearby unit to have you gain 1 life. So I give this an A+. I think this card is completely busted. I've drafted it twice now, actually. The last draft that I did, I opened a Ring of Morrigan pack 2 and just took it. And yeah, it's not as crazy as it is in Constructed, because in Constructed you're double spelling a lot, or like Archimago can just like common sense for common sense and just like ping forever. But then the upside is like your opponents basically are never playing Dispel. So like Shatter Strike is kind of the only answer to this, or like a Shameless Squire. Yeah, like it's just 1 mana, basically get like a 3-for-1 and like gain a bunch of life. Like you're just gonna be able to ping their things and deal enough damage to kill 1 or 2 power minions and just finish off bigger minions in combination with an attack or something like that. So this is Ancestral Recall. This is as close as we're gonna get, I think.
Well, we already had a discussion about this, so I'm a bit different on Ring of Morgan. So we're still talking about limited, not constructed, where you can multi-cast spells, and that is just not the case in limited. So I think often you play 1 spell, sometimes 2, And then I don't know if the Ring of Mourning has that same impact as it has in Constructed. Yes, you will gain life, but also life is different. In Limited, it's more about the board state. If I'm 2 minions ahead, it doesn't matter if you're 14 lives. Well, it matters a little bit, but I will just deal with the life gain. So yeah, I actually gave it a B plus, but I must confess that I never played with it. I had a chance at Sorcery Fest to play with it, and I just didn't put it in my deck because basically all my minions were better, stronger, and that's what I did. So, but of course, I trust you that if you have your avatar in the middle of the board and it's pinging every time, every turn, I can see that it's good. Yes, I've played with it in constructed. I do know what the card does. So, but it just also could be an idea just to recalibrate the cards. Like, is it for every deck? Is it more when you have cheaper minions? Is it then better, etc.? So I would challenge it just a little bit. So for me, it's a B plus, A minus, whatever. Next one is Excalibur. 2 mana, a unique weapon. Bear has +1 power for each of their elements. If they have all 4, they are also immune to damage. Straight up F for me. I will never play this. Because, yeah, you want to cast this on King Arthur. Then it would be really good. But as we explained, we never play with King Arthur. And then having the other sirs, they're just good on their own. You really don't need the Excalibur to make that difference. And then if you're playing Excalibur on regular minions with just one element, it just gives +1 power. It's just not good.
Well, okay, so I give it an F as well, but there is a build around that you should know about. If you have Azurridge Caravan, it's a 5 mana, 4 power fire minion at ordinary in beta that has all elements and minion types. So if you get an Excalibur on a Caravan, what is it? It's an 8 mana, or it's an 8 power undamageable minion, and that's just completely busted. So I don't know. Maybe I would play it if I had a Caravan or two in my deck.
If you want to do it, by all means, you may play it against me. I have no issue with it.
All right. Okay, 4 Waters of Paradise is next. It's a 2 mana unique relic, and you can sacrifice 4 waters, and this turn Bear's next elemental spell requires no threshold and costs 4 less to cast. This is how you cast your King Arthur right here, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, you have to 2-for-1 yourself to cast something with this. Yeah, just like ramping something out, I don't think is particularly a good way to win. Like, you have to put a bunch of expensive stuff in your deck for this to really come up, and you have to draw this early and the other big thing. So it's like a 2-card combo that if you do assemble, it might just win you the game, but they might just have removal for the big thing that you cast anyway. And I just don't really see myself ever putting this in a deck, but I gave it a D plus.
Yeah, I agree. I have some kind of strange build around great. Like, if you have real bombs like Mrs. Stormworm, whatever, these very difficult cards to cast, and you're a bit uncertain, then there might be a chance to put it in the deck. But you have to always realize that you're really giving up a card for this. So the upside must be really high, and I don't think that ever is the case. Then I just would not play the Mrs. Stormworm. So, yeah. Next one, Merlin's Staff. 2 mana for a unique weapon. Bear has Spellcaster and +1 power for each magic spell they have cast this turn while holding Merlin's Staff. So basically, you put this in a minion's hand, then you have to cast magic spells, which you can only cast once, unless you are playing Archimago. This card is terrible. Straight up F for me. Never play with this.
Yeah, I give it an F as well. It just doesn't do anything. Golden Harp. This one's kind of weird. So 3 mana. It's an elite relic. It's an instrument. Oh, I guess that's a relic type. Strike damage and life loss caused by nearby units is reduced to 2. It's reduced to 2, which is really weird. But I guess like most minions already deal 1 or 2 damage. I mean, the good minions deal more than that. I guess now this maybe gets a little bit better because it affects sites too. And it didn't used to do that. Yeah, I don't know. I gave it an F. I just don't really feel comfortable enough to put this in a deck, and I just don't think that the impact is really there. Like, I want my cards to get like a 1-for-1 or better, and I just don't see that really happening with this.
So the strange thing of Golden Harp, like the effect is actually quite good. So this is really meant for a control-y deck, but that there is where it starts to be awkward because going control in such a fast, aggressive environment is not easy in Arthurian Legends. And the matter of fact is that if you are behind in minions, yes, most minions will stay alive. But if I have 2 extra minions, yes, I will deal 2 times 2 damage. So you will take 4 damage. So you will actually lose still alive to this card and you will die, but you will die slower. That is what the card does. So it gains you time. But on the other hand, you have played these cards. So you sacrifice also a card or a solution to get back into the game. So every time I played against this card, although very annoying to play against, it never. I was always able to win because they also had costed and it was not strong enough. But yeah, potentially there is a deck where it's really potentially be playable. But I would say overall, it is an F or a workaround B plus somewhere. But I don't risk it. It's too difficult actually.
Yeah.
Next one is Goss with Helmet, a 3 mana elite armor. If bear would take strike damage, prevent it and return this helmet to hand. This card is so annoying to play against, especially if you play with it. It's also annoying because it's not always easy to correctly time where you want to play. Do you want to protect your avatar or whatever? So there is some skill to it. And of course, Shadow Strike is really a real thing. That is your worst enemy against this card because they will not only first blow up the helmet and then deal the extra damage and then they will charge in. So you are not always safe with the Ghost with helmets. It's also armor, so with the site that destroys armor stuff, you have to be aware of this. So it's not ultimately safe also with our squires, shameless squires, you will drop it as well, so be careful. But of course the effect is very strong. And I think 3 mana is really well balanced. It is high enough that you really have to be conscious when you play it. It is not free to play it every turn, but if you are in a longer game, it gives so much protection and so much added value because I can cast it on my minion, I can attack his minion, I don't take damage, mine survives, it goes back in hand, and I have it ready for the next turn. So I think Ghost with Helmet is a B plus for sure. That's where I have it.
Okay. Yeah, I give it a B minus, but yeah, everything you said is very true. Yeah, like this is a relic that it doesn't say you get a 1-for-1 or a 2-for-1 with it, but you really do. Like, that is just kind of how it plays out. And I've never had my opponent be able to like steal it or blow it up with a Shatter Strike. Like it's just always in play basically, and it's really annoying to play around. Grim Guisarm is next, so this one changed a lot with the rules change. So maybe I should update my ruling on this, but this is 3 mana for an elite weapon. Bear takes and deals double strike damage. So now this affects sites. It didn't used to, so I had it at D minus before. I've just never played it a single time, but I guess I could see a world where now I might play it. Like, it is doing things in constructed now. Like I've seen it a little bit of gameplay with it, and it is pretty impressive there. So I haven't seen this in limited, since the rules changed. So I really don't know, but it's kind of like a gigantism is kind of how people in constructed have been talking about it. And it's a gigantism that like doesn't go away, but it does have the downside of like your opponent can still steal this at some point, and that's really not going to be good. So I think if you're playing against water, it gets a lot worse because you have to play around the Shameless Squires and stuff, and you're really not going to know until you're in the game. So yeah, I don't really know. What do I rate this now? It's definitely higher than D minus though. It's maybe it's like a C plus now, and I would just hold it in hand until I am gonna use it as a gigantism. But I guess it's really not as good as gigantism though, because your things trade off with their thing when you attack them with it. So yeah, maybe it's C minus. Okay, C minus. That's where I'll land. What do you think?
It's same. It's just difficult to grade with the new changes because I haven't playtested it and I didn't playtest it before because then it was just straight up bad. The only thing or the feeling I have is it went from being bad to actually being good. That is what I can definitely say if you build around it correctly. So I think in an aggressive deck where your aim is to go fast and hit hard, this is what you want because you can always place somewhere a minion that's a bit off to the side and then even a 2-power minion will hit for 4. So if you can just sneak it in and your opponent cannot deal with it, that's 8 damage in 2 turns, which is actually a lot for a stupid 2-power minion. And so if aggro is your style, then this will definitely be no joke. Also, there is a potential that you can really trade upwards. My 2 mana power minion can trade with your 4-power minion, and perhaps I have then a way to pick it up again. Definitely if it's on my side. So that's also a benefit. So I think you really have to have it from the surprise effect. You play it and you instantly have your benefits directly. So yeah, I think it goes more to the B range. If you play it correctly in the right deck, I think it's very strong actually.
Yeah, I can see that.
As we see in constructed.
Yeah, I think if I would probably only put this in a deck in the same deck that I would put like a Sword and Shield. Like I'm gonna want to have some Shameless Squires or Shatter Strike or something, and I'm just gonna hold those in hand as long as Grimgoose Arm is in play, because I just don't want my opponent to get a hold of it.
Yeah, but I think here it's different because the Sword and Shield is just a fixed +2 power. Like here, if for instance I have a 4-power minion and yes, I was going to trade off whatever, but suddenly I have a potential to do 8 damage, that can really blow out your opponent and bring it to death's door. And perhaps you have your direct damage in hand and then basically it's game over. So I think the upside is higher than, but the mechanics and the things that you have to think about are essentially the same as you say. All right, next one is the round table. 3 mana for a unique monument. Must be cost to your back row whenever you summon King Arthur, never happening, or a knight, sir, or dame to the round table, draw a card. Straight F, never play with this unless you have 7 sirs in your deck, but even then you have to still play it. And then it might be good, but then they have to take the long way up. So it's just bad. Don't do it.
Yeah, I give it an F as well. 13 Treasures of Britain. This is 4 mana, unique relic. When picked up, bear's controller draws a card. Teleport the treasures to the top of a random site or void. So I think so I give this an F. And then maybe in a deck with like 20 minions or something, I would play it as like a D plus. Like I probably still wouldn't play it, but if I really needed playables or something, maybe I would jam this in there. But like, yeah, you need to like have board control already so that you're more likely to have it teleport to your side or something. But honestly, most of the time it's just gonna be 4 mana draw a card, and that's just absolutely unacceptable. So
yeah, I agree. The fact that it can go to a void, but for the other hand, it just teleports to your opponent. It's just bad. Next one, fail, not bow. 4 mana for a unique weapon. A bearer has range 3. So this had some discussion in the community. I personally think fail, not bow is good to strong if you use it as a surprise attack. Because range 3 is just really literally hitting everything. So that means that your 4 mana minion can basically kill anything that he has inside. It's not that difficult to work towards it because you know you have it in hand. And the moment that you have it in hand or on the board, like your opponent's avatar is in danger. So I think it's just a straight up kill spell that is very easy to do. You have to have your minions, of course. Yeah, I think it's okay. So I gave it a B plus.
Okay. I gave it a C plus, and maybe that should go up because realistically, like, how are they ever gonna steal this from you? Like, you can shoot them from a mile away. So, yeah, this is kind of a hard one to lose to, probably, if you're the one playing it. So, yeah, I probably would actually just play this in pretty much any deck. Horn of Caerleon, 4 mana elite instrument. Nearby minions have charge. That's just not worth a card. I mean, yeah, give me a break. This is an F.
It's such a pity because I agree with you, but I love the cards. Like think about all your minions have charged. That is so crazy. That is so strong. But in reality, you lose a card,
Yeah.
and to make up for it, it's not that easy. All right, next one is Pentagon Banner for 4 mana, a elite relic that says nearby allies have +1 power while there are no enemies here. Once upon a time, I was drafting and I thought, like, hey, I have this slot open. Why don't I try out the Pentagon Banner? Because I was not sure whether it was good or bad. And then it really won me all the games. And then the next time I saw it, I picked it actually, like, hey, this is quite a good card. And then I started playing it and it won me so many games. And then I started searching for it. And now I actually have it as an A plus card. I think Pentagon Banner is a completely underestimated, very, very dangerous card because, again, you don't see it coming. It often gives +3 power to minions because you can really position it correctly if you know that you have it or it is coming. I like the card a lot, and yeah, it just wins games easily. And the downside, so there is a downside, there are no enemies here, so sometimes enemy will come on your avatar. So there is a difference playing it on your avatar, which basically guarantees that you will not lose it. Sometimes you really want to play it on an airborne minion because then you're on the other side and you can immediately buff your whole team and you can perhaps remove 2 of their minions. Yeah, I like the card a lot.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. So I have not played with it. I actually had a sealed deck that I like did the exact same thing as you. I was like, like, I'll just try this card out. I'll just put it in there. And I just never ended up drawing it. So I haven't had that experience yet. I don't think I've even played against it, but honestly, just looking at it now and reading it, I'm just like, wow, yeah, this is actually pretty powerful. Actually, I have played against it once, I think. And it was like, okay, well, I'll just get my minions onto their avatar, right? And then it's like, okay, like I did it, I turned it off, and then they just like move their avatar, and then it's on again. It's like, yeah. So it's very powerful. It is pretty much just pump your whole team, and that's pretty powerful. So I give it a B plus as well. Rongominiad is 4 mana. It's a unique weapon. Bear strikes first and has tap. Throw Rongominiad as a piercing projectile. It deals 3 damage to 1 unit at each location along its path. So it's kind of like in between like a heat ray and a rolling boulder, I guess. But it's, I think, much worse than rolling boulder because it only hits 1 thing at each location. So I like rolling boulder. But I don't like this nearly as much. So I give it a C plus. The thing that you want to do with cards like this and Rolling Boulder is like get your minions on their side of the board and then throw this back towards your side so that you don't lose it. So I can see doing that. I haven't really had the chance to actually do that in practice, but I think it's a C plus. I'd probably play this in most decks.
Mm-hmm. I rate it higher, and it's because of that first sentence, because it says bear strikes first. So basically, it gives first strike to all your minions, and that effect is as good as the second ability. So it's actually like a mini rolling boulder for 3 damage, which is, I mean, rolling boulder is insanely strong. We all know this if you played with the cards. So this is 3 damage. It's different because sometimes you really want to kill 4 powered minions. but it will also kill your opponent, etc. But just to be able to cast it on your minion and give it first strike is really also very annoying to deal with. So yeah, I'm more on the B side. I don't know if it's really B plus, but definitely a B for me. Last one is Love Potion, a 6 mana elite potion. Bear has sacrificed Love Potion, gain control of target enemy minion here until this unit leaves the game. So I see people still being confused about these cards. So one, the keyword is here. You really have to be with your minion on the other minion to be able to steal it. And the other one where I was confused a little bit is like it's no tap ability. Sacrifice Love Potion. The bear doesn't have to tap. You can just cast it and then sacrifice the Love Potion. So you can do it instantly. The bear has until this unit leaves us the realm, so you really want to do this with your avatar. If you do this with a minion, you really have to be conscious that if you lose your minion, you will also lose the control. So I never play this, I think, on a minion unless I can bring my opponent to death's door, and I'm sure that I'll win the game. The 6 mana, I thought in the beginning, that's quite a lot. It's expensive, but that is actually not a big deal. Until the bigger minions, like what you want to steal is like a wyvern or whatever. By then they also have the 6 mana, and you have it in hand. You're not going to cast it if it's not useful. So the 6 mana is no deal. So the effect is of course very strong. I give Love Potion an A minus. It's anytime you can steal your opponent's minion, it is not only do you destroy their minion, you then gain it. And as you say, if by any chance that minion is untapped, that's even worse because then you have the charge. Yeah, Love Potion is just strong, but it's not always a bomb. Sometimes it goes a bit slower, or if you have a lot of small minions or being attacked and taking many cuts from many different minions, then it is not that amazing. But just to have it and be able to deal with any minion is a good thing to have.
Yeah, I give it a B plus. It's definitely not as good as Mesmerism, but it is kind of in the same wheelhouse. Yeah, the fact that like if you put this on a minion and you gain control of their minion with it, like that's just such a huge liability. I've never done that. I always use my avatar to gain control of their thing, so I just have it permanently. And then it's very good. But yeah, I give it a B plus just because of the clause that you have to be here when you do it. That's just so much worse than nearby, like you can do with Mesmerism. Okay, we're moving on to sites. So we're going to start with Earth. Varmint Warrens is the first one. It's an elite site, and it says it provides Earth Threshold. Beasts here can't be targeted by enemies. So that includes being attacked, because that is targeting. It's not just like with magics. It affects both sides, I think. So if they put their beast on your site, then that matters. But anyway, this really isn't going to come up very often. I give it a D. Like, I'm just not going to take this very high at all. What do you think about it?
Well, the thing is, it comes around, so you can easily pick it if you're in Earth, and if you're in Earth, you probably have some brown bears, and thus that makes it actually a very good card. So I gave it more a C. Like, you don't need it. Brown bears are good on their own, but if you have it and you have it in a deck, sure, I'm happy to play it. But it's just more by coincidence. It's nothing to be really going or getting for. Next one is I don't know how to pronounce it, the Wormlow Thump. It is a unique site. It has 3 thresholds. Opponents can't affect cards in your cemetery. This is not constructed. This is a straight up F. I mean, yeah, you can play it, put it in your deck. It's better than a basic site, but it will not do much, I would say.
Yeah, I give it D minus, but yeah, it's basically an F. It just doesn't do anything ever. Cursed Land is next. It's an elite site. Whenever another site is played nearby, its controller loses 2 life. So I gave this a D because it affects both players, and really that means like you're probably more likely to want to place sites next to this than your opponent, and like it just doesn't trigger unless they play sites next to it. So they can just not do that if they want to, and it might be harder for you to not do that. So I think this might just be worse than a wasteland some of the time, but I guess if you're in like a super aggressive deck and you really want the life loss, then maybe it's like a C minus, but even then you should consider just not playing this.
Well, I think if you're really in an aggressive deck, then you can do so. But can you think about your starting hand? You have three sides, and Curse Land is one of them. And this is then where you want to keep it. But you don't want to go for your fourth land or fifth land, so you have to play it then in one of the first 3 or 4 turns, which you want to do, but then where will you place it? So you really have to have a low curve deck to have its effect. So yeah, it's okay-ish, but yeah, not that high of an impact. Next one is Fields of Camlan. It is a fire side, unique side with 3 fire threshold Genesis. Each player chooses one of their minions, kill the rest. Fields of Camlan is for me a straight up A+. The card is insanely strong. The only downside is the threshold. So in limited, you really have to be in 2-color fire, but just Fields of Camlan without, it doesn't cost anything, and you will only play it when you can at least kill one of their minions. Otherwise, you will never kill any of your minions. But I've come back in games where I was completely lost just due to this card. And not only do you kill minions, you then have the mana and be free to then develop the board. So this is from I'm behind to I'm ahead actually right away. Yeah, Fields of Command is amazing.
Yeah, I can't believe this card. Like, it's 0 mana board wipe and like probably a one-sided board wipe. Like, yeah, that's an A+, absolutely.
Whoops.
Dozmary Pool is next. It's a water site. It's unique. It has, if you have 3 water threshold, it has Genesis. You may submerge an artifact from your hand here. So you need to play this, have an artifact in your hand, and then have a minion with submerge that you want to play there to get it. I don't know. Yeah, this is a D-. Just please, basically, just don't ever draft this.
No.
Doesn't do anything.
Next one is the Kelp Cavern. Beautiful cards. Elite side Genesis. Look at your bottom 3 spells. Put one on top of your spell book, and it is of course a water side. I think Kelp Cavern is amazing. Not only sometimes you have an issue like, hey, I have this really good card in my opening hand, but I have to mulligan it because I go for consistency. It is too. It costs too much, so I don't want to get stuck with it. And then Kelp Cavern can just bring it back. And not only it is 1 card, but you can actually look at 3 cards. It just basically says take 3 cards and put the best one on top of your deck. Very good. I give it a solid A.
Yeah, I think the value of that is like similar to draw a spell. Like, that is very powerful. So what did you give it?
Yeah, I give it an A, and between
wow.
brackets, I would say I will not take this in my very first 4 or 5 picks. It is when I'm in water, then of course I will get it because you really want to first lock in your minions, etc. But the card effect is so strong that it's on that level for me.
Okay, yeah, I give it a B, but yeah, I'm gonna take it whenever I see it, pretty much. Merlin's Tower is next. It is a air site. It's unique. And if you have 3 air threshold when this enters, it has Genesis. This turn, it gains Spellcaster, and its next magic costs 3 less. So that's not going to matter very often, but it's something, I guess. So I give it a C-. I'm really not going to prioritize taking this, but it is something. I don't know. It's better than Aspire, but it's really not going to do very much very often. The fact that it gains Spellcaster can be interesting. Like, it can cast spells in the under region, like burrowed minions and stuff can get hit by magic missiles or whatever, but that's such a fringe case that I'm not going to take it over just a solid minion.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's different than in constructed where you really want to have this under kill spiders, etc. It's just never really happening in limited. So I agree. I would rate it quite low. Next one is Perilous Bridge, which again it is an air threshold card. Units cannot traverse this side top border on the ground. Um, I like it. I mean, if you put it in your deck, you have a reason to do so, and if you have a reason to do so, then this is actually quite good because it slows down your opponent a lot. If you have more airborne minions, which can happen in air, then fine. It's an okay card to have. Yeah, it's a build around, I would say, and then it's around C plus for me, depending why you want to control your opponents.
Sorry, what did you give it?
Yeah, a C plus to B minus.
Okay.
It's really a workaround
Yeah.
card based on what you have.
Yeah, I gave it a C, and yeah, it's really dependent on, yeah, if you have a bunch of airborne stuff, I guess that it gets a little bit better. It's just kind of weird that it's in air, and air is a very assertive element, and this can kind of block your own minions too. So I'm not that high on it. I give it a C. All right, and then we have multicolored sites. So Avalon is first. It's a unique site. It provides all 4 thresholds, so earth, fire, water, air, and it provides mana and threshold for everyone. So when you play this, your opponent also gets 4 threshold, and they get 1 mana out of this on their turn. So that is super weird. I think in an average deck, you just don't ever play this because you're just kind of 2-for-1ing yourself. I don't know. It's just really strange. Like you're ramping your opponent without even ramping yourself is how this works. And I guess,
But they don't have King Arthur.
yeah. Yeah, I think if I had like King Arthur and Excalibur or something like super weird, maybe I would play this, but yeah, I do not play this card basically.
For me, it's a straight F. Like you're giving your opponent mana. Are you crazy? Everything is about curve and being fast and tempo and whatever, and you're going to help out your opponent. So, what reason? So, which card is there that you really need to have that kind of threshold? And then even King Arthur doesn't make the cuts. It's no, never ever happening. Next one is I think the Carlion upon Usk, which is one of our 3 sites. So this one is Earth, Fire, Water, only provides mana and threshold while in your back row. Sorry about this. All 5 of them or 4 of them are amazing. I all give them very high because it fixes all of your mana issues. Like 2 element sites are amazing, so let alone 3 elements. It's not that often that you have all the 3 elements in your element pool. If it's really correctly in the tree, then it's even better. Casting it on the back row, there are no earthquakes, etc., so they are completely safe. So I don't know, I would not highly pick them, but if I'm in the color, of course they're amazing. So they're somewhere in the B plus range if it really fixes your mana.
Okay. Yeah, I gave it B minus if you're in 2 of the 3 elements, and I gave it a B if you're in all 3 of the elements. But yeah. It's just like, remember, you don't really need these to splash. Like you can splash without this, but it does help a lot if you do have one of these. So yeah, same grade to all 4 of those. Wedding Hall is next. Wedding Hall is an elite site. It provides all 4 threshold, but it provides no mana. And it says if King Arthur and Queen Guinevere are here at the start of your turn, you win the game, which is never ever going to happen. But okay, so this is kind of like Avalon. Like you don't get mana when you play this, but at least you're not fixing your opponent's mana. So I don't know. I give this a D, and this is one of those ones that you should just not put in your deck basically ever. But if there's some weird situation where you're like straight 3 elements and you have no way to get out of it, or something weird happens where you have King Arthur plus Excalibur or something, then maybe you can play it. But I think it's better if you just hear do not ever play this card and you just go by that.
Straight F for me. No discussion.
Yep.
Next one, Bar of Bliss, unique sight. Mortals in the realm become beasts and are silenced. So, when would you play this? Well, if I don't have any mortals in my deck, that is not that easy in Arthurian Legends. And then it would be acceptable because, yes, it is just a sight in your deck, but this one doesn't provide any threshold. So, I don't think Bar of Bliss sees any play. Straight F for me. Never play with this.
Okay. Yeah, I gave it an F, but I gave it a build around B minus. If somehow you build a deck that has like no mortals and has a bunch of beasts, then
Yeah, but
sure.
even if you're in two elements, would you actually? Then I would definitely play a Hamlet or whatever. That is actually very good to play. So
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Broceliand? I don't know how to say that. It's a unique site. It has Genesis, untap nearby fairies, tap nearby mortals, give nearby beasts stealth. So I give this one an F to start as well, but I think if you have no reason to splash, so if you're not splashing at all and you have like 8+ fairies or beasts, then I move it up to like a B. Like it can do some interesting stuff, I guess, but it's just a one-time effect. And you can imagine this world where there's a bunch of mortals in front of you and you got a bunch of fairies and stuff, but like this is just never ever gonna happen. So probably just don't play this one either.
I'm getting inspired by you talking, but my brain is like, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, next one is Camelot's unique site. Unique minions cost one less to cost to nearby sites. It's very simple. Just count the amount of unique minions you have in your deck, and you will then decide to not play it. Also, it doesn't provide any threshold. Straight F, don't play this card.
Yeah, and the next one is the same. It's Major City. It's elite, and it gives elite minions. They cost one less. So this is an F as well. You're just only going to have a couple elites in your deck, and they might not even be minions.
Next one is the Postern Gate. So Postern Gate is an elite site, so you can play two of them. It says enter the realm under an opponent's control. So basically, you're just giving your opponent mana. The only upside is, well, perhaps there are two upsides. One is if you're so aggressive that you can play this side on the back row and that you're just hitting super hard. But in limited, that is just not happening. What you're doing is you just give your opponent a free mana, which again on curve is just so incredibly bad. So never play with this. Only perhaps if you have the bailiff, but also then really concluded, don't do it.
Yeah.
And watch out for royalty.
Valley of Delight is an elite site. It has Genesis, choose one, and you choose one of the 4 elements, and then this site provides that permanently. So I think people from Magic will see this and they'll call it like an Evolving Wild, but really this is like a Prismatic Vista if you're coming from Magic. So it just enters and it provides mana and threshold immediately, and you can choose whatever it is. So great fixing. I think this is like kind of on par with the 2 element sites. It might be even slightly worse maybe, but I give it a B minus. I'll take this pretty high, but again, it's not necessary in order to splash, but it will help.
Yeah, I agree with what you say, but I think just having the option to choose is so important. I mean, it will fix all your double threshold issues, or if you have a third threshold, this is really what you want. It's so flexible. Valerie Delight is amazing. So I'm definitely also on the B range for sure. Next one and last site is the Wizard's Den. It is an elite site which has a Genesis ability. Draw a spell. Discard a spell when this site is first attacked successfully. This card is amazing. Basically, you just draw your spell. You can always place Wizard Den very safely tucked away to the side, and by the time they can actually attack it, that means you have lost the battle basically because they are on your side doing stuff. Just getting that free extra spell gives so much advantage. So it's always difficult to rate these cards as a side, but without having to pay or do anything, I'm there on the on the A level. It is just amazing. It is a free card.
Okay. Yeah, I give it a B with the caveat that like basically I only play this if I'm not splashing. Yeah.
True.
Okay.
That is true. That brings it down a little
Yeah.
bit.
All right, and then we have 2 avatars. So Archimago is the first one. We've kind of already talked about this, but I give it a D minus, and I think you need like 9 or 10 magics to make this card work. I guess I should rate it. It's an avatar. It has tap, player draw a sight, and it has banish 3 magic spells in your cemetery. Cast a copy of one of them. So you still have to pay the mana. You have to have 3 magics in your cemetery to activate this, and then you basically get 1 card worth of value out of it. You get to cast whatever the best magic in your cemetery is at that point, but Spellslinger starts with an extra card, so you're not even up a card necessarily when you cast that magic, and you had to wait until turn like 6 or 7 to even activate this. So you're just down a card until you activate it, and that's just a pretty huge cost. Basically, you should just never play with this card. If maybe there's some world where you have like 2 or 3 really, really powerful elite or unique magics, and you make it to 9 magics without like really messing with your what cards are playable and which aren't. Like, I'm not going to put like a bunch of cantrips and stuff in my deck like they do in Constructed in order to play this. So basically just don't play it, but maybe there's a world.
Yeah, but it's so thin, right? I agree with you to say I'm thinking about Power of Flight or Grievous Insults. Like these are very good ordinary spells, but as you say, you start with the card behind and you have to first get the tree and then it becomes good. It just takes too much time, unfortunately. Then the next and last card of the set is our other avatar, which is the Witch. She has a tap ability, player draws side as all, but then the effect of tap, curse target avatar, and you can choose one of 3 abilities. The first one, or 3 curses. The first one is their spells cost 1 more to cast on their next turn. The second one is they lose 2 life, and the third one is they have -3 power until your next turn, the avatar that is. So the effects are quite good. The spells cost 1 more is an annoying effect, especially if you can do that on turn 4 or 5 when it's quite crucial. Then it changes often in just the 2 life, so which is really meant to be or extremely controlling, but that is not happening in limited. So it's really more like you are on the offense and go hard, fast, and then those 2 extra damage that potentially is probably like 6 life actually makes it to push your opponent to that door. But the big question is, does that make up for the card that you lose against the Spellslinger? If I think that that extra card is just a 3-part mana minion that you don't have, it really sets you back, actually, the Witch. It was tested by various people, and the common decision is we don't play with it. It is just not good enough, unfortunately. So I give it a straight D. I don't play with it.
Okay. Yeah, I give it a D too. Like, you just have to give up a draft pick for this, and that's just not going to be worth it. And it's probably just going to be worse to put in your deck compared to Spellslinger. I really wish that there was a good avatar for us to draft, but I guess it's kind of nice that there isn't. On the other hand, like, we're all on the same playing field. We're all playing Spellslinger. It does feel kind of bad that like someone wants to do something really cool and play Witch or play Archimago, and it turns out like you just shouldn't do that, basically. But maybe Witch, like, there's a world where you have a really aggressive curve and you want to beat down and you get to start activating this early. But like you said, like, if you just had an extra aggressive minion in your hand, that's probably just gonna be better. So yeah, really sad, honestly, about the Witch. But that brings us to the end. And yeah, I love Arthurian Legends a lot. So glad they made this set like draft focused. The community for limited, I feel like, has been a bit underrepresented. So, yeah, thanks for joining me, Nick. We never really rated Arthurian Legends in our format overview, but how do you rate Arthurian Legends?
I think Arthurian Legends is spot on. It is really what's it's such a huge advantage and addition to beta. I really like the mechanics that they put into play. Like the lances, they're just fun. The stealth, it's annoying enough, but it's like everybody has a stealth, so it's really more like how can you use it, how can you draft it. There's so many things going on in the draft that you can do. So I think they did a fantastic job with Arthurian Legends, and I loved playing it. Personally, I like to mix beta with Arthurian Legends just to have a wider variety. Some players really just love to stick to Arthurian Legends only just because of the very fast-paced format, what they love. Yeah, I think it's a winner, and I'm hope that Gothic goes in the same direction. It's a bigger set. So perhaps that is the only downside I would give to Arthurian Legends, that it was only a 220 card set. Um, because that makes it so they balance it out, but that also makes it very, very aggressive. Which personally I like. The games go faster because Sorcery can tend to be a long game. Just 50 minutes per game is quite heavy. So also that is a plus for Arthur Legends. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I like it a lot. Like I've done some just 3 packs of beta drafts and they feel pretty bad. Like I mean, it's like still good gameplay, but I think like the draft experience specifically is quite bad. Like you just end up with so many bad cards that you just have to put like a couple D's in your deck, and yeah. But then on the other hand, like you said, it's such a large set and you get a different experience every time, and Arthurian Legends is a bit more streamlined. It's a lot smaller. Yeah, I would love to take like the gameplay of Arthurian Legends and match it with the size of beta. So if they do that in Gothic, I would be really excited. And if they could like slow the gameplay down a little bit, I would prefer that. Like Arthurian Legends was a bit fast for me. But yeah, I mean, the gameplay was great and that's all that really matters.
Yeah, it's true. Arthurian Legends is really cutthroat. You really have to be very conscious of what you're doing, and one blowout can lose you the game instantly. But yeah, I think we all learn to deal with it. But it's a more difficult set, I think, to enter actually if you're a newer player, because yeah, the lances they really hurt. When you talk about beta, did you then play it with the Spellslinger or with the Sorcerer?
Just Spellslinger. I have like very little experience honestly with Sorcerer.
So I think beta was really meant for the sorcerer, and then it really brings a whole new dimension to the game with the double drawing and double casting and the mana. So I would tend to agree. Beta with spellsing is not something I would enjoy, but with sorcerer, it's really an extra skill level, which I actually enjoy a lot also. So that's why I love sorcery, because as until now there were 2 hits for sure. So yeah, I hope Gothic can be in the same line, and then we are in for a treat, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. Like we only technically have like 2 draft formats, but we kind of had like 4 or 5 in there because like there was beta with Sorcerer, and then it was beta with Spellslinger, and then it was Arthurian Legends with Spellslinger, and then now it's like Arthurian Legends with these different rules, which don't really change things that much, but it is like technically like a slightly different format now. So not that I like love that they're changing the rules and stuff. Like I think it's like for the most part a good thing for sorcery, the rules that they changed, but it's just a little jarring sometimes to get things mixed up. Okay, well, yeah, I think that we covered everything. I think we disagreed with about more cards this time, and I think that's reasonable since neither of us have as much experience playing with these cards as we do with the ordinaries and exceptionals. I think we're probably doing the beta review before Gothic, but I don't know. We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll do a format overview first and then the set review again. But yeah.
I'm looking so forward to doing this for Gothic because yeah, I've played so much in beta and with Arthurian Legends, so there I can really speak out of experience and the gameplay. But with Gothic, it will be so chaotic, and there I think our opinions will be more not in sync. So looking forward to those discussions.
All right, me too. Okay, thanks for joining me, Nick. This was a lot of fun. Catch you later.
Bye.
Congratulations on finishing this very long video. As a prize for you, I wanted to show you this spreadsheet. So this has all of my ratings in it, all of Nick's ratings in it, and then I created this little chart and made a VLOOKUP function so that the grades would be converted to numbers. So this is my grade in a number form, this is Nick's grade in a number form, and then this is the average grade between the two of us. So if you want to look at this, if you want to see, you want to filter the data in certain ways, what I recommend, if you go to help and then search the menus and then type in filter, you can create a filter view, and then you can filter by whatever you want, and you can make it so that it's only showing ordinaries or only showing uniques or whatever you want. But the thing that I think most people want to do is sort this Z to A. So now you can see these are the cards that got a 12 on average because me and Nick both gave it an A+, and then so on. And you can see as it goes down, the grades get lower. So you could maybe use this tool if you want to quick look up a card and see what we graded it. Of course, these grades are always going to be fluid. They're always going to be changing from draft to draft. When you get new experiences with new cards, you should certainly take that into account. And I'm not going to be updating this sheet when my grades change on a card or anything. But this is a pretty good snapshot of where we are in the format. It's pretty late in the format, so I don't think it'll change too much, but just wanted to let you know about this. But yeah, thanks again for watching the video. Please subscribe. There's going to be more videos like this. So if you made it through this 3-hour video about this set, there's going to be videos just like this for future sets. So thanks a lot.